In a class in which it doesn't take long to call the roll. The flying feet of Dorsett, Seattle's gift to the Cowboys 6 years ago in a trade that had the Seahawks fans steaming until they went the same route, trading up in this year's draft to obtain Warner, whose flashing feet and ability to wiggle and wobble has been to the AFC what Eric Dickerson has been to the NFC. Something old and something new at quarterback in Danny White and David Craig, with White at the throttle, throwing to a variety of receivers, including Ron Springs. The Cowboys are putting the pedal to the metal in their stretch drive for the NFC Eastern Division crown. Meanwhile, Craig is the Seahawks in contention for their first ever playoff spot. A rare interconference meeting between Dallas and Seattle coming up on CBS.
The Dallas Cowboys against the Seattle Seahawks.
This one has been sold out since last August. 64,000 strong here at the Seattle Kingdome for this meeting between the Cowboys and the Seahawks. Hi, everybody. I'm Frank Lever along with Dick Vermeil. Of course, Dallas tied with the Redskins for the top record in the NFL at 11-2. Yet 10 of those 11 victories they've had to come from behind. Any theories?
Well, Frank, I really think it's more of an indication how excited the fans get, the coaches get, the players get, how intense they get when they play the best team in the country, the Dallas Cowboys. When that wears off, all of a sudden the Dallas Cowboys come on that second half and win.
Now, you have coached with Chuck Knox before, I know, at Los Angeles, and you know as well as I do that he has a certain knack of getting teams up for a big game.
Frank, I really believe Chuck Knox is the best leader, best teacher, best motivator I've ever been on the football field with, and he will have these people ready to play today. They'll play the best football they're capable of playing. They'll be at their best against the best. Chuck Knox is a great motivator, as I said, and I really believe, because of his leadership and the preparation, that the Seahawks will play maybe beyond their ability for 4 quarters today and make this a real intense football game. So let's see if Chuck is as good a motivator as I think he is.
The Dallas Cowboys have won the toss of the coin, have elected to receive, and Norm Johnson, who was the field goal kicking hero last week against Kansas City, getting ready to kick off. Newsom, number 30 on the right of your screen, and Ron Fellows, number 27 on the left. As this one is about to get underway with the Redskins winning big against Atlanta today, obviously, the Cowboys need a victory to keep pace and set the stage for the big one next Sunday at Texas Stadium. Ron Fellows at the 1, 10, 15, and that's something that the Seahawks do perhaps better than anyone else, and that is cover on their specialty teams, kickoff and punt return teams as well. Let's set the Dallas Cowboys offensively for you. Danny White will be the quarterback. Some question about whether or not Drew Pearson was going to start. He missed a game for only the second time in 11 years last week with a sprained ankle, but he is in the starting lineup, though Butch Johnson is expected to see a lot of action. And a question also about Kurt Peterson, the right guard, who's had some back problems, but he also is back in the starting lineup. Those 25 touchdowns by Danny White, close to the club record as Dorsett carries on the first handoff and picks up close to 5 on the play. John Harris, number 44, coming up to make the stop as we take a look at the Seattle Seahawks defense. They play the front three, and Jacob Graham from Texas A&M along with Jeff Bryant, both number 1 draft choices. Joe Nash is a free agent in the middle. The linebackers, Greg Gaines on the right outside, filling in for Michael Jackson, and then that's Shelton Robinson is the strong inside linebacker. He'll always go the side where the tight end is. And the D-backs, Gary Justin has already signed a contract with the new league with the New Jersey Generals. 2nd and 5, Cowboys at their 21. Dorsett up the middle. Football comes out, but after the play had been whistled, short of the first down. Seattle, of course, has given up a lot of yardage in recent weeks, running and passing as well. Here's a final score. Atlanta had to come back. I think they were down 37-7 in that game to even make it respectable, but the Redskins appear to be in high gear and ready for the big showdown next week, which we'll have for you on CBS. 3rd down, Dallas needing 3 for the first down. There's Chuck Knox, head coach of the Seattle Seahawks, former head coach of the Rams and the Buffalo Bills in his first year with the Seahawks. This place can get noisy. White in the shotgun on 3rd and 3. Out to Ron Springs, and that's enough for the first down at the 28-yard line. So Springs making the catch. He needs just 3 catches in this game to tie the Cowboys' all-time pass receiving record. That's 65 catches by Frank Clark way back in 1964. First down, Dallas at the 29.
Cowboys have always done a real good job, Frank, of getting the football to that fullback. He's a hard guy to cover over there on that side of the tight end, and he's a very efficient receiver.
Well, Butch Johnson is in at a wide receiver position right now. Hill to the right, Dorsett on the carry, cuts inside the 30 to the 33-yard line. Picks up some good yardage in the play. The tackle made by Bruce Schultz, the left outside linebacker from the University of Texas.
It's a good eye toss play going to the left as you see it. The key to it is the block made by the left guard. Coming around the corner there, it picked up, did a super job, broke him out there into the perimeter. Nicely done. Defense a little bit weak there at the linebacker spot.
5 on the play for Dorsett, so it is second down 5 for the Cowboys at their 34. And Butch Johnson definitely in at the wide receiver position, so maybe Drew Pearson's ankle isn't what it should be. Springs, Dorsett the setbacks. Danny White going to Butch Johnson. Very close to the first down at the 38-yard line. Johnson coming off his best game of the year with 6 catches on Thanksgiving Day. And the Cowboys, of course, as mentioned in the pregame show on the NFL Today, very strong in the week after Thanksgiving. They've lost only 1 time in 15 games, so you got to believe that rest helps.
No question it helps. It helps the coaches. They get a couple days rest coming off that Thursday game. The players that are bumped up and bruised, they get more time than normal. Those that have been injured prior to that ball game maybe didn't even play, Frank. They have more time for the treatment by their trainers, and therefore they come out of that ball game a better football team.
Tom Landry watching the measurement that's going on and indicating that the Cowboys are just shy of the first down. Looks to be a matter of inches, so Dallas will have 3rd and less than 1 needed for the first down. Cowboys taking the opening kickoff, and they have held the football. They're at their own 38-yard line.
Frank, do you notice how the Cowboys just try to take their time and move the ball down the field, like the little 2nd and 6-yard to go play? They throw a little 6-yard quick out. And don't try to get it all in one play. They're very, really, in a way, conservative with their approach, but very consistent and very efficient.
Absolutely. Coming up with a 3rd and 1. See if they go to Dorsett. Seahawks have it pretty well stacked up the middle. Cosby in motion. We get a whistle. Boy, that's a costly one if that's delay of game. Instead of 3rd and 1, they're going to be looking at 3rd and 6. Now the 30-second clock shows 11 seconds left. And we get illegal procedure against Dallas instead.
I didn't see it, Frank.
30-second clock had 11 seconds left when Jim Tunney, the referee, blew the whistle. He marks off the 5 yards, takes it back to the 33, and here's the call.
Ball start, guards moving, still 3rd down.
I didn't see that from up here.
Well, it's 3rd and 6 now as Chuck Knox chewing furiously on that gum. Looks on. Dallas from its 33-yard line trying to keep the drive going. Danny White, protection is good, goes over the middle and is picked off. Cosby was knocked off, and that's Kenny Easley down to the 10, to the 5, to the 2-yard line. Kenny Easley, former #1 draft pick from UCLA. Here it is from the end zone.
Danny White appeared to have a lot of time to make this play, but evidently he misread. I would imagine they had him covered inside out. No, it appears that he just threw the ball behind the tight end. That's all. Just slid behind. He picks up a nice block from Moyer right there, number 21. Easley has not practiced all week, Frank.
He's had a bad problem with a turf toe, and there was some question whether or not he's going to play. Well, the Seahawks have a 1st and goal at the 3. In recent weeks, they've been the ones turning over the football. So golden opportunity here. Cullen Bryant, 32, and Kurt Warner, 28, the setbacks. Warner in motion. Bryant up the middle. He's to the 1. He is not in. Inside the 1-yard line. It'll be 2nd and goal. Bryant, of course, the former running back who played under Chuck Knox in Los Angeles, was Knox's first draft pick when he became the head coach, and he came into the league as a defensive back.
He was the biggest defensive back, Frank, you've ever seen. When he walked in the first meeting with the coaches, we were shocked. We said, this guy's not a defensive back. He could lift the weight room. He's so big and strong. He eventually, as we all know, became a running back.
Second and goal from inside the 1. David Craig, the quarterback for the Seahawks. Bryant. Still no indication. Cowboys have held on second down. It'll be third and goal.
He tried to get up over the top. Now the offensive lineman will come off low. The defense is off low. See him get up on top, protect the football, but he just didn't quite break the plane to the end zone. Good defense by the Dallas Cowboys.
Seahawks trying to capitalize on the 38-yard interception return by Easley. It is third and goal from the 1-foot line. Warner last time fumbles the ball, and Dallas has recovered. Billy Bates making his first start at the strong safety position, replacing Dexter Klingscale, who is out with a hamstring injury. Comes up with a big play, as he has so many times this year for the Cowboys. Take a look at it from ground level.
He fumbled the ball actually prior to getting contact. See, it's handed off there, it goes in between the arms and down below using the arm low, arm high technique, and it dropped right out under the ground. My gosh, that's fundamental. That should never happen in the National Football League.
11 minutes, 13 seconds left in the opening period here in Seattle. No score by the Seahawks from the end zone.
Now David Craig is going to reverse pivot around and try to get the ball deep to the tailback. See it? And he puts it in there, and the ball dropped out underneath the lower arm of Kurt Warner. That's a shame. It's all part of the game, though. Now let's see what Dallas can do.
Well, that's the problem that the Seahawks have had in recent weeks, turning over the football, and it has killed them. But they can move the ball offensively. But on the other hand, they can be scored upon. Last 3 games, their average yield has been 39 points a game by the opposition. Cowboys with poor field position back at their 3-yard line. Trying to get it out around the 5-7-yard line is Ron Springs. Kenny Easley, number 45, coming up from the secondary to make the stop. Dallas at 11-2. You know what they're going to do in the NFC East. And Seattle is 7-6 and very much in the running for a wild card playoff spot in the AFC. Other scores, this is now final. They played that game before 51,000 no-shows at the Meadowlands. That's a new NFL record for no-shows in bad weather, quite obviously. 2nd and 4 for the Cowboys at the 8-yard line. Butch Johnson in motion. Springs close for the first down out to the 12 and 13. Let's bring you up to date on other scores around the National Football League. Many of the early games are now finished. Hey, how about the Eagles? They finally won one after losing 7 straight. They upset the Los Angeles Rams. That really puts a kilter into the Rams' hopes.
Well, they played awfully well last week, Frank. They played well last week, but turned it over too many times, therefore got beat.
This was in the snow. New England holding off New Orleans 7-0. Buffalo defeating Kansas City 14-9. And our score 0-0. Still in the opening period. Danny White, sideline throw to Springs, who's been very active, and out of bounds near the 22-yard line. That's close for another first down. Miami trailed for a good part of this game, and the word from the Astrodome was that Dan Marino, their sensational rookie quarterback, was hurt early in that game, and Don Strock had to finish up. But they came back and beat Houston 24-17. And Cincinnati in an upset, beating Pittsburgh 23-10, and the Browns playing at Denver. The Browns could really put the heat on the Steelers in the AFC East. 2nd down 3. Cowboys ball at the 22. Dorsett. Great cutback, and he is close for the first down if he doesn't have it at the 25-yard line. Great cutback ability of Tony Dorsett.
Now they're going to run that same eye toss they ran earlier. See the lineman pulling, the tight end blocking down. You see Scott coming around, Donovan out in front, fullback leading Springs. Look at that cutback. Same type of move, actually, that Kurt Warner makes. You know, those two backs are very similar in running styles and ability.
Very similar in size. Warner perhaps a little bigger, a little more physical. Dorsett faster.
I think Dorsett has a little better, maybe, cutback ability. I think he sees on the backside a little bit more than Warner. Now, that's not an expert comment because I haven't seen that much of Warner.
It is a first down for the Cowboys at the 25-yard line. White, delayed handoff. Dorsett first over the left side. Gets it out to the 30-yard line. Interesting thing that Tom Landry told us about Tony Dorsett this week. He said he reacts on the field to flashes of color, of the color of the other team's jersey. Is that the mark of a great running back, or do they all do that?
Well, I've never heard it expressed that way, but the great running back, he has the ability to transfer to his feet what his eyes see without even thinking about it. He sees the wrong color, all of a sudden his feet respond and they go in the other direction. The great ones can do that.
And we've got two of them on the field today. Second down 4. Cowboys at their 30, having moved out from the 3-yard line after the fumble recovery. White, sideline to Butch Johnson. Out of bounds at the 36-yard line, and again, that should be enough for the first down. Dave Brown, number 22, making the stop. Here's a guy that wants your job. Butch Johnson wants very much to get in the broadcasting business and be an analyst.
I know it, you know, and I think he's probably talented enough to do it. Not that it takes a lot of talent to do it. I'm doing it, but he, you know, he's a poised guy. He's very articulate, and he works in the off season for an affiliate of CBS. And
he does.
I think he's prepared.
He works for our Dallas affiliate, KDFW. In fact, does it during the season, doing reports several times a week.
That last play on second down was again the same type of play they used in another second down situation, that short pass.
First and 10, Cowboys at their 35. Springs runs into Jeff Bryant, number 77, number 1 draft pick a couple of years ago from Clemson, and short yardage pickup on the play. One of the great underrated linemen, I think, in the National Football League is center Tom Rafferty, number 64, the Cowboys.
Right to the right of the screen. See him snap the ball. Now, that's his handicap. He has to snap the ball, then block a man. But he's doing a good job on the nose guard. Gets a little help. He's still shoving and pushing there. Here's a guy working on his MBA. But today, he's working on that nose guard.
Of course, he used to be a starting guard, and then when Robert Shaw was forced to retire because of a knee injury, moved in at center. Never missed a beat. Second and 7. Dorsett, 40, 45, 50, and into Seattle territory at the 48-yard line. John Harris, number 44, making the stop. That'll be his biggest gainer of the day.
Watch the offensive right guard. Watch him pull now. See him pull around there? He's going to come up in there and get a nice key block right there. Bang. That's why that play broke up inside like that. Nice job by Howard Richardson. Dorsett, we all know Dorsett can run.
13 yards on that play.
Let's take another. Watch the guard now as you see him. See him pull out. He's going to step number 70. See him come around through the hole. Now watch him come right up in there. Boom. He gets a nice block there on number 53, Keith Butler, and he's up through there.
Richards, a former Cowboy number 1 draft pick from Missouri. First and 10, Dallas at the Seattle 48. Danny White. Tony Hill with the leap. 30. Hill to the 25-yard line. What a great run after the reception. Lost the ball. It is picked up by Butch Johnson, and Johnson is in. Let's see if we got a touchdown. Yes, touchdown Dallas.
No.
Wait a minute. Jim Tunney, the referee, says bring it back. Tunney is indicating bring it back. No touchdown. The official in the end zone signaled touchdown.
Great example of second effort, third effort.
Yards on the play. Watch it all the way.
Little play action pass. Now watch, he's going to come back and fake the ball to the tailback. See that? Now that holds the inside linebackers. That gives Danny time to throw the ball into the zone. Reaches up there nicely, but look at, he tries to push him down. Dave Brown has enough experience to know that you've got to tackle a fine receiver. Now he's a ball carrier. Running the ball, people hitting him, the ball's on the ground.
Now they rule the ball was down at that point, so they give the Cowboys the first down at the Seattle 25 and nullify the touchdown recovery. Here's Dorsett, 20, 15, down to the 13-yard line. Big hole over the right side. John Harris, number 44, finally makes the stop on Tony Dorsett, who has picked up 46 yards rushing here in the first period. A gain of 12 on that play.
That was a very unusual play. The center actually influenced, blocked number 72, the nose tackle, Joe Nash, and jumped back out of the way. Nash lunged in there off balance, and lo and behold, Dorsett goes flying right by him.
Tony working on his third straight 100-yard rushing day. He has never played here in Seattle. the Cowboys have played here in regular season only once. That was back in '76, the year before they got Dorsett. 1st and 10 from the 11. Springs over the right side, inside the 10 to the 8-yard line. He's stacked up by Jeff Bryant, number 77. A pickup of 3 on the play. Ron Springs having his most productive year. He is the number 4 ranked receiver right now in the National Football League with those 62 catches, 63 counting the one earlier. Sees a signal from the bench, and he will be coming out.
He gets a lot of credit as a receiver, but on pace right now, he could end up having his best year as a rusher. His best year is at 625 yards, and he already has 509.
Second down. Cowboys need 7 for the first down. With the ball at the 8-yard line, they have to get it to the 1 to pick up the first. Cosby in motion. Dorsett on the sweep. Dips in, then out. He is over. Touchdown. A little dip to the inside and then 1 to the out, and Tony Dorsett goes 8 yards for the first touchdown of the game with 4 minutes and 30 seconds left to play in the opening period. That's a 97-yard drive.
That's a big one. Now, you're going to watch the tight end, 84, going in motion. He's actually like a wingback now. Toss the tight end block down and tackle. C61, John Cooper, get out there and get a nice block. Now, Dorsett just makes him miss on his just innate running ability. Touchdown. The linebacker over there, Bruce Schultz, number 58, has to be able to work inside out on that much quicker to stop Dorsett.
Glenn Corrado will hold, and Rafael Septien to try the extra point. Rafael currently 2nd in the NFC kick scoring department. Kick is good. And with 4.5 minutes remaining in the opening period, the Cowboys lead the Seahawks 7-0. Along with Dick Vermeil at the Kingdome in Seattle. Very impressive ball control drive by the Cowboys. They ate up almost 7 minutes on the clock here in the first period, traveling 97 yards after the fumble recovery by Bates.
Tom Landry told us last night in our meeting, Frank, remember he said we'd like to maintain ball control and just eat up the clock and keep Seattle's offense off the field, and they sure did at that time.
David Hughes deep along with Zachary Dixon, ex-Baltimore Colt. Coming down on Hughes' side. From the 5 to the 15. Outside to the 20, 25. Crosses the 30. And finally dropped at the 37-yard line. Nice return. Everson Walls, number 24, finally ran down David Hughes, but good field position for the Seahawks as they start their second offensive possession behind this man, David Craig. Craig went to college at Milton. That's Milton, Wisconsin, a school that is now out of business. They closed their doors for financial reasons a couple of years ago. We've got a timeout. 10 at their 36-yard line. We'll take a look at Seattle offensively for you. We mentioned David Craig as the quarterback and the sensational rookie runner Kurt Warner, coupled with Cullen Bryant, and an outstanding receiver there in Steve Largent, who played his college football at Tulsa. The offensive line has a couple of patches today. Connie Kawhi is at center, replacing the regular Blair Bush, who is out with an injury, and Bill Dugan is replacing Robert Pratt. Pratt, who's a starting right guard, became ill prior to the game. On 1st and 10, Craig will throw it. Paul Johns made the catch at the 45-yard line. Take a look at the Cowboys defense. By the way, that should be enough for a first down for the Seahawks. Cowboys front 4. And it's interesting to note that these front 4, all 4 of these players have played in the NFL for longer than the Seattle franchise has existed. The Cowboy linebackers. Dickerson will be the weak side. Hagman on the strong side, which means he always goes to the side where the tight end is. They flip-flop him. And the Cowboys secondary has Bates starting for the first time in place of Klingscale, who is out with an injury. Not enough for the first down, say the officials. It is 2nd and 1 from the 45, and Warner picks up the first at the 47-yard line. Bob Brunig, the Cowboy middle linebacker, making the stop. Another final score in the National Football League. In the NFC Central, Green Bay outlasted Chicago 31-28. So the Bears are pretty well out of it now, and the Packers stay alive in the quest for perhaps the Central Division title. Cleveland and Denver started the same time we did, so the Browns lead it, and they have a chance to pick up some ground on the Steelers, who lost today. 7-0 Dallas, our score. First and 10 Seahawks at their 47. Kurt Warner dips inside, then tries to go back outside. Gets to the 49. Doesn't get much there. And you do not normally, Dick, get well on Dallas running the football.
No, they're tough to run on consistently, but you have to, to keep those defensive linemen honest. But they're tough to score points on just running the ball. I'm sure that they're going to mix that passing game in there real good and then try to get the big one off a play-action pass.
Second down, Seahawks have 8 upcoming. For the first down with the ball at their 49-yard line. Just over 2.5 minutes remaining in the opening period here at the Seattle Kingdome. Steve Largent wide to the right side. Everson Walls picks him up. Johns is split to the left. He's got Thurman covering him. Cowboys with a blitz had linebackers coming, complete the pass at the 32-yard line. That is good for the first down for the Seattle Seahawks and the veteran Harold Jackson, number 29. The old Los Angeles Ram and Philadelphia Eagle making the catch.
Here he is. He's going to come straight back now. Now Dallas's pass coverage went strong to the left side of the screen. Now he works back behind the pass coverage. Nice read. He comes into Harold Jackson on a square in. There, Dennis Thurman makes the play. Well done. Well done by the defense and the offense. Really, that's hard to defense with that coverage.
21-yard pickup on the play and a Seattle first down at the Cowboy 32-yard line. One running back, and that is Colin Bryant. They got Warner on the wing, and here comes Warner. Great move inside. 30, 20, flag down as Walls shoves him out of bounds at the 5. We got a penalty marker back at the 25, which will probably be holding.
Frank, I think a wide receiver was called for holding, blocking downfield. Now, I'm not sure of that, but that's what it appeared to me.
Holding it is against Seattle, which will wipe out a big chunk of that game. But that running style gives you a good idea of what Warner can do. He's got fantastic feet, as they say.
Tremendous feet. And I think later as we go through the ball game, we'll be able to give you some close-up examples of what we're talking about when an athlete has great feet. He and Tony Dorsett really have the great feet.
Holding 62 during the run. Down.
It's on the center, Connie Kauai, and it wipes out a 24-yard Seahawk gain. And
Connie
moves it back to the 38.
Connie had pulled and gone on downfield and was downfield when they called that penalty. It's an even defense, so you can go ahead and pull your center out of there, Frank.
Seahawks now looking at a first down and 17 from the Dallas 38-yard line. A minute and a half remaining in the opening period, and we get markers prior to the snap. Illegal procedure. Cowboys defensively saw somebody move in the offensive line, and it looked to be Bill Dugan, who is starting for Robert Pratt at the right guard position. Dugan, number 66, and that'll set him back 5 more. Two big penalties. Let's see if we can pick it up here. Once you get in that 3-point stance, you can't move.
You can't pick it up. Now watch to the left of the screen, number 66. See that big arm sticking down there on the turf? Now watch there. See him move right there? You cannot do that. Dutton goes on offside like he is offside. He is legal. The offensive man cannot move.
First down, 22. Seahawks now back to the Dallas 43. Dave Craig, big rush, trying to get out of it. It is sacked back at the 49-yard line. So they're looking at second down now and 30-plus as Randy White, number 54, comes in. And White, week after week, the opposing coaches say he is having maybe his best year ever. He is a dominant defensive football player. Sometimes he's double-teamed, but he creates havoc down there.
He does. Now look at him to the right of the screen here. See him in that 3-point stance? Now McKenzie, number 67, is trying to block him. Now there he beats him around to the outside. Here comes Randy White right there, creating havoc for everybody.
If he doesn't make the stop, chances are he's got something to do with it. He forces the runner into somebody else's arms.
Plus, the other thing he does, Frank, is many times they block him with 2 people. So it singles up other people.
Second down, 30. Seahawks going backwards on their last 3 plays. Craig out of the shotgun, steps up, fires the pass, completes it at the 44-yard line. Ron Fellows there quickly to tackle Steve Largent. Largent has now caught a pass in 89 games in a row. That is currently the longest streak going in the National Football League.
He's a very clever receiver. Uses a lot of moves in his passing stem as he leaves the line of scrimmage and getting to his breaking point. He's hard to read coming down there. He's not the fastest guy in the world, but very good ball control receiver.
Well, they got 10-11 on the play. It'll be third down. They're still looking at 20 for the first down for the Dallas 42-yard line. Byron Walker wide to the right side. Johns in the slot inside of him. The Seahawks have 4 receivers who will go down on this play. Craig, under a withering rush, gets it away for Paul Johns and overthrown in the end zone. Harold Jackson was in there as well. You're out at the practice field yesterday. I thought you had a great line on Jackson before you even saw who it was. You said, I heard something creaking.
I asked him if he needed some WD-40 for those knees. You know, he's really caught more balls right now for any receiver active in the NFL right now. And I think just the other day or last week he became the #2 all-time yardage receiver in the National Football League, passing Lance Allworth, believe it or not.
Been around a long, long time. Yeah. 37 years of age in his 16th year. Punting situation and ankling for the near side corner is Jeff West. Good kick inside the 5. And the Seahawks managed to fumble it into the end zone, which means it'll be a touchback. And the Cowboys will take over at the 20-yard line. Boy, they had that thing surrounded.
They really did.
Dornick, number 33, mad at himself for not being able to hang on to it. 41 yards on the punt, and with the punt, the first quarter comes to an end. At the end of 1 here at the Kingdome in Seattle. Inside. Michael Jackson has come into the lineup for the first time at linebacker. He's missed several games with an injury. Came back last week. Dorsett caught behind the line of scrimmage by Joe Nash. Number 72, the nose tackle, broke through that time to stop Tony Dorsett for the loss. Tony has carried 9 times and has picked up 56 yards. Nash, a free agent, has beaten out Manu Tuiasosopo, old friend of yours from UCLA.
Yes, I recruited him, and actually he was a starter on my Rose Bowl team in 1976. A fine football player. He was a starter here all the time, and right now he's been beaten out. Nash, to get free like that from the nose guard position, chances are he had some kind of a slant on, and they were pulling lineman. The center was left there all alone on him, and he just beat him on the slant.
Dallas with a 2nd and 12. Butch Johnson started the ball game at the wide receiver in place of Drew Pearson, who apparently is still slow with that sprained ankle. And we get a whistle as the 30-second clock is run out on the Cowboys. Delay of game will cost them 5. Now they're looking at a 2nd and 17. There's the 30-second clock. Again, the problem when you shuttle in plays from the bench.
Delay, 5 yards, still 2nd down.
It does take a little longer. Plus, the offensive teams are doing more with other personnel in terms of alignments within the formation. And the huddle calls take longer. The offensive plays are more intricate. They take longer. And that 30-second clock is being used all the time now, Frank.
You saw number 65, Kirk Peterson, come in from the bench with the play. He's alternating with Richards. Normally, Richards alternates with the other guard, Herb Scott, from the shotgun. That's 2nd and 17 from the goal line. White gets rid of the ball, and it is almost intercepted. Intended for Dorsett, and he was blasted by Dave Brown, number 22. And White is unhappy. Thought he was roughed.
Here it is. He's back there in the shotgun. Now you can see there's a good rush coming on inside. Now Jacob Green, Breton Cooper, then Nash came around the outside on a stunt. There, he got rid of the ball, and David Brown came up and hit Dorsett about as hard as a guy can be hit and still get up.
Now, White wasn't complaining that he got roughed. He claimed that Dorsett apparently got interfered with.
I think he felt that Brown hit Dorsett prior to him having the opportunity to catch the ball.
Dallas with a 3rd and 17 at 64,000, raising the roof here in the Seattle Kingdome. Cowboys at their 13-yard line. White out of the shotgun, big rush, back at the 1-yard line, gets it away, incomplete. Jeff Bryant, number 77, blew through there that time, and White had to hurry the toss.
Jeff White, the defensive right end. That's not Jeff White right there. The defensive end coming from the right of your screen now. You can see number 70. He's working on him there, doing a good job coming around. Now, there's Jeff Bryant, number 77, who is a fine pass rusher. Jeff already has 8 sacks on the year, so you know that he can rush the passer.
Danny White will be punting out of his end zone. And the Seahawks deep man, they employ a 3-deep formation with Paul Johns, number 85, as their prime punt returner. Line drive kick. This can be returned. Johns at the 38. 40, 45, and upended at that point by Ron Fellows, number 27. So good coverage by the Cowboys specialty teams, and the Seahawks come out of it with good field position with a 1st and 10 at their 45-yard line. We're early in the second period of play. And at their 45-yard line, that's the time remaining in the first half of play. These teams have met just twice before, once up here, once in Dallas. Cowboys won both the last time, a 51-7 rout on Thanksgiving Day in 1980. Dave Craig at quarterback for the young Seahawks, and he'll throw on first down. Trying to reach Largent. Well defended by Dennis Thurman. Of course, as we mentioned at the outset, you coached under Chuck Knox at Los Angeles. You have any great Knox stories?
Oh, I'll tell you, he's a very intense coach, a very sound, fundamental football coach, too. And one day I'm in the cafeteria talking to the other coaches during training camp, and I'm complaining about all these things the running backs I've coached can't do, and all this guy's not good enough, and this guy's good enough. Finally, he said, Dick, if those guys could do all those things that you're complaining they can't do, I wouldn't need you to coach them. That's what I'm paying you to do. Teach them to do it.
That shut you up for a while, didn't it?
Shut me up, but good.
2nd and 10, Seahawks at their 45-yard line. Whistle right at the snap. Obviously, they're trying to get the ball in Warner's hands, and once again, the Seahawks going to be flagged here for a false start. I think it was Ron Essig, number 64, the left tackle this time. Other scores, these are games in progress as we listen to the call.
64, false start, still 2nd down.
Ron Essig, the left tackle, guilty of the false start. San Francisco, now knowing that Los Angeles lost today to Philadelphia, can move right back in there in the NFC West and tie the Rams with a victory. Jets leading Baltimore in the second period on the margin of a field goal, and Denver has overcome the early Cleveland field goal and leading that game 7-3. Our score 7-0 Dallas. Seattle with a 2nd and 15. Seahawks at their 40. Craig back to throw it, running out of trouble and completing the pass to Largent at the 48-yard line, and Dallas into the field. Steve Largent, who Bum Phillips says was the biggest mistake he ever made, letting him go.
Watch Largent now. Watch him move him up inside there. Now he give him a little head fake, and watch him come back to the ball. Watch him come on back. Keep coming, keep bucking. Really tough to defense. Always under total body control, that guy. You notice that? Never looked off balance at any time.
He picked up 12 on the play. Bum Phillips had him in Houston, drafted him as a 4th-round pick as a rookie. They didn't release him, but they traded him to Seattle a week before the regular season started. And he's simply become one of the best receivers in the history of the National Football League. 3rd down and 3. Seahawks at the Dallas 48. Craig backs up, sideline throw intended for Dan Durnick, the running back over on the far side, well covered by Tony Dickerson. And the Seahawks will be punting. We were talking to Drew Pearson yesterday. He said, of course, Drew isn't starting in the game. He said if he started this game, there would be 3 wide receivers starting in this contest from Tulsa. Paul John, Steve Largent, and himself. That's got to be some record, doesn't it?
Yeah, that is.
Same school. Jeff West, whose last punch, you recall, the Seahawks managed to fumble or muff all the way into the end zone, resulting in a touchback. Ron Fellows is deep. Gary Allen, the normal punt returner, is out with an injury. Fair catch. Fellows at the 18. And Dallas will put it in play from there.
West doesn't hit that real long punt, but he gets it up there in the air, and the punting team can really cover it. In fact, they're, I think, 2nd in the National Football League right now in covering punts.
That one good for 30 yards. Timeout. 8 seconds left to play in the first half. The Cowboys will have a 1st and 10 at their 19-yard line. In case you joined us late, the only score of the game on an 8-yard touchdown run by Tony Dorsett, which climaxed a 97-yard Cowboy drive after they recovered a fumble at their own 3-yard line. Danny White thus far has hit 5 out of 8 for 45 yards and had 1 picked off. That by Easley, which gave the Seahawks that big scoring opportunity, which they promptly blew. Dorsett on the delayed handoff. 20 out to the 25 to the 26-yard line. One thing you notice different about Dorsett than Warner, he seems to kind of submarine when he gets hit. Warner likes to take those tacklers head on.
Well, Warner's a little bit deeper and a little bit bigger, rather. And this guy here has played longer, and he has always been great at making sure he gets most out of the play. And then if he sees there's nothing left, getting his pads down below the tackler so he's healthy on the next snap.
It's a good way to play pro football, I'd say.
Yes, he's a very intelligent runner and one of the best ever.
Second down, 3. Dorsett has had 5 100-yard rushing days. He's got 61 yards on the ground here in the first half. White throwing on second down, trying to reach Tony Hill at the 50-yard line. And off target. Hill has come back after a sprained arch, which caused him to miss 4 games earlier this season. He's caught 34 balls for 6 touchdowns. And there's Drew Pearson.
Warming up his passing arm, huh?
Yeah, maybe. You know, he used to be a quarterback in high school, early college days. Played with Joe Theismann. I think that story's been passed around a bit.
Yeah, no question. Everybody, I've used that 3 or 4 times myself.
Nothing new there, but Drew missed a game for the second time in 11 years last week. And we don't know whether he's going to get in today, but obviously he's still got a problem with that sprained ankle, or I know he'd be in there. 3rd and 3. Cowboys at their 26 from the shotgun. Big rush, blitz is on, pass gets it away, incomplete. There's a pass interference marker thrown this time on the Seahawks. Tony Hill was the intended receiver, and David Brown, number 22, who is the only original member of the Seahawks who came to the club in the original expansion draft back in 1976. He was a #1 pick of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, in 75.
Pass interference, defense, number 22, first down.
Close call here.
You can see him, he's pedaling back now, he's driving. The ball didn't get there quite as quick as he thought it would be, and he really just decks the guy.
Now, wasn't that close, was it?
No, it wasn't close. It was obvious.
That's an automatic first down. 1st and 10 Cowboys at their 37-yard line on the 11-yard penalty. Cowboys have done an excellent job controlling the football, though they haven't scored but 1 touchdown. Dorsett on the swing pass, 35, 40, 45. Now there is the move of a great running back. Looked like they had him, and he squirmed loose for another 7 or 8 yards with that little move to the inside.
It's a case of a 6'5", 240-pound linebacker isolated. Now watch Tony at the left of the screen. He's out there. He's a layoff man. He couldn't get the ball downfield. He lays it off. Now watch him come out. Now watch his feet. See his feet do that. Now look at that right there. He makes a miss. That's all there is to it.
10-yard pickup on the play. Good job.
Good pass protection.
Line.
Yeah, Rafferty right there on Nash, number 72. Nice job. See, you can use your hands in pass protection today. You never used to be able to do that. As long as you don't hold with him, you can go ahead and jam with him.
We talked about Rafferty before. I think he is ready for the Pro Bowl. He's been unnoticed thus far, but he's having a great year. 1st and 10 at the 47. This time they stop Dorsett before he gets started. Jeff Bryant, number 77, who's had a great game so far at right end and is given Pat Donovan pretty well all he can handle.
Right. Well, sometimes they're pulling linemen. Let's see. Now, he jumped down on the guard that time. He was on the guard, Scott, number 68. See, and they changed the defense right prior to the snap, and I think it might have confused the offensive blocking pattern.
2nd down, 11. Dallas from its 45-yard line. Just over 11 minutes left to play in the first half. Butch Johnson in motion. Dorsett got Richards out in front and hurt Scott, but it doesn't do any good. Coming up to make the stop is Don Dufek, number 35. Here's a guy that the Seahawks have cut at least 3 times and re-signed again and again. So many players in the league, you see that happen to.
Frank, so many times a guy gets cut, an injury occurs, so you bring another guy back. And, you know, it's a great example of how important it is to be persistent in whatever you really want to do in your life. There are many, many examples of that on every football team. And the other thing I think is important for a young person is to make sure you don't burn the bridges as a player when you are cut. I know as a coach a couple times I've said, to heck with that guy. His attitude was so bad when we let him go, I wouldn't want him back.
3rd down, 13. Cowboys at their 44. From the shotgun, White airs it out for Butch Johnson. He's there, but he couldn't find it. Johnson had trouble locating the football. He thought he should have had it. It would have been a tough catch. But that's the type of catch that Butch Johnson has been noted for.
Now, easily, number 45, right in the middle of your screen, saves the big play right here. See, he's the deep safety playing too deep, and he got there just in time to knock it out before he could put it away. And Johnson many times will put that ball away before that contact would have occurred. He's mad at himself.
Cowboys have their new punter in there for the very first time, the barefooted kicker, Jim Miller, who punted for the 49ers when they went to the Super Bowl a couple of years ago. End-over-end kick down to the 20-yard line. Up to the 25 is Paul Johns, and Johns is stopped just short of the 30. Miller is the only barefooted kicker, or punter, I should say, in the National Football League. 10 minutes, 2 seconds left to play in the first half, and the Cowboys leading the Seahawks 7-0. 37 yards on that last punt. It looks like Butch Johnson may be hurting a little bit on the bench. Of course, maybe his feelings are hurt. He's saying, boy, I lost that thing in the lights to Danny White. I just didn't see it come down. Look at him. Seahawks with the football after the 37-yard punt. That's our score and the time remaining in the first half. Seattle 1st and 10 from their 30. David Craig handing off to Warner. And Warner, who gained 207 yards rushing last week, is out to the 32. Last week, Kurt Warner gained more yards in that one game, a total of 207, against Kansas City than the leading rusher for the Seahawks did all of last season, total of 9 games in the strike-shortened season.
Well, the Seahawks, too, over the years have really been a pass offense-oriented team directed by Jerry Rome, and they've done a lot of good things in the passing game. Now, in this style with Chuck, they're going to emphasize both phases of the game, and they've got the right guy to do it with, Frank.
Yards have come tough for Warner. 4 carries for 9 yards so far today. 2nd and 8. Again, the give to Warner. Tries the right side, looking for an opening, and is stacked up at the line of scrimmage. Everson Walls read it perfectly, coming up from the secondary to make the stop. And there was nothing there.
Now take a look at McKenzie, number 67, the guard. See, the second man in from your screen. He's working on Randy White, 54. He's doing the best he can and holding him off. See him just working on Randy, locates the ball, and off he goes. McKenzie's been playing in this, you know, he is part of that old offensive line that blocked for O.J.'s 2,000-yard year.
Yeah, the electric company.
The electric company.
Turn on the juice.
You know, he's almost bald-headed. I told him that's what he gets for wearing that helmet all those years.
3rd down. Seahawks still need 8 for the first down. From their 32-yard line, Craig has him in the shotgun. Charlie Young, the tight end, is in motion. Michael Downs, the safety, blew through there and flew over, literally over David Craig, caused him to duck down. And by then, of course, the reinforcements arrived up the middle, and Randy White, number 54, got the sack.
This is an overloaded safety blitz type thing. You see everybody up there. Michael Downs, 26 up there. He's coming inside. See the linebacker up inside now? Too many people to block. It's a real problem. They've run 19 safety blitzes in the last 3 games. This is number 20 now in the last 3 games.
That's a lot for Dallas.
That's a lot. I think they're getting a real good pass rush out of it, so they're going to stay with it.
Jeff West punting. Kicks it high and pretty short. No fair catch signal by Fellas. Took a chance there. Gets it up to the 40. He was completely surrounded by Seahawks and disdained the fair catch signal and returned it 7 or 8 yards to the 42-yard line. The punt, 38 yards by Jeff West. The return of 7. First down for the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys ball at their 42-yard line. 7-0. Dallas leading. White back to throw. Out to Dorsett. 40-45. And Tony Dorsett close for the first down at the 50-yard line. So White simply dropping it off and picking up 10 yards or so. Cowboys haven't had that much difficulty moving the football. But though the Seattle defense is bending a bit, it's certainly not breaking, with the exception of that 197-yard touchdown drive. There's Tom Landry. You want to get Tom riled up. Ask him about defense in the NFL and the rule changes which have all favored the offense. He's an old defensive guy from way back.
Well, he is a defensive coach, probably one of the best ever, and you know, the only one still coaching a flex defense, and he would like the rules to go back and help the defense a little bit. 2nd
down, 2 needed for the first down. Cowboys at midfield. Ron Springs driving for the first down. He'll be very close at the 48-yard line, depending on what kind of mark he gets here. And again, it was Jeff Bryant, number 77, teaming with the right inside linebacker Keith Butler, number 53, to make the stop. Herb Scott lost his shoe in the process. Butler was a third-round draft pick from Memphis State back in 1978 and a starter since his rookie year, but it's the first year he's moved inside.
He was playing outside backer for him before, and they've had some trouble with their linebacker core, and they're trying to firm it up, and he's a good football player, but he's probably maybe a little better outside backer.
Pat Donovan came into the game, said something to the official on a 3rd and short here. He probably says, I'm going to be the second tight end, don't you think?
Yeah, well, he has to report if he's out there. Yeah, he is. He's playing left tight end next to Cosby. Now Cosby's coming in motion.
3rd and less than a yard for the first down at the Seattle 48. Dorsett, nothing inside. He gets the first. The great speed of Tony Dorsett. There was nothing when he looked inside, so he simply put it in high gear, went for the outside. They've got the first down at the 45.
He has that great ability to go ahead and burst and get outside. Now watch, the fullback's going to go up inside and block. See, he's going up inside, try to help out. He gets a block. Watch him bounce outside there. Now it's a foot race. John Harris coming inside out, the safety, to make the play. But didn't need many yards for the first down. He's got it. 1st and 10, nose of the ball, just inside the Seattle 45-yard line. There's the numbers on Dorsett so far here in the first half, which has just over 6 minutes and 20 seconds remaining. Dallas really controlling the football. White looking downfield, gets out of trouble, lets it go for Johnson. Diving catch by Butch Johnson at the 23-yard line. First down, Cowboys at the Seattle 23. Now this is the example of a mobile quarterback. If you can move like he does. Now see a little play action fake to raise the linebackers. Tony does a nice job of cutting the defensive linebacker was coming in there. Now watch the mobility of Danny White. See, he's running out there. If he couldn't move like that, he'd have probably been sacked. Now he reaches out there, makes the catch. Boy, those are hard to defense. Really hard to defense. Dave Brown comes over and just tags him. A lot of times I've seen guys come over and stick a helmet in the guy when he's down like that, and it'd be a foolish penalty.
21-yard pickup on the play, and a Dallas first down at the Seahawk 23. White fakes the handoff this time out to Dorsett, to the 20, to the 15. Tony down to the 10, maybe the 9-yard line. Another first down for the Dallas Cowboys. Gary Justin, the left cornerback, came up to make the stop, aided by Sheldon Robinson, number 57. A 13-yard pickup on the play. Dorsett, a dominant force.
This is a little play action, fake inside. Now they're going to go ahead and run a little slip screen. See the lineman releasing, going along the line of scrimmage? Watch him right there. There's Peterson, 65, bang, he gets a block right there. Now he's up in there, first down. Well-executed play. He had 3 linemen out in front of him, Frank. Only one of them got a key block, but that's all Dorsett needed.
Ball straddling the 10-yard line. It is 1st and goal to go. Butch Johnson in motion. Ron Springs to about the 6-yard line. You pretty well know Dallas' situation with the big game coming up against the Redskins. The Seahawks are in a position, if they win their last 3 games, they're in the playoffs as a wild card team. They're still masters of their own fate.
Here's a nice shot. You're playing linebacker, sitting home on your couch. Now see that. Now Sheldon Robinson, 57, moving inside out, but he overran the play. Now there's a nice little cutback hole in there. Then the other backside linebacker had to come in and to make the play. That's one of the toughest things, Frank, to discipline the linebacker not to overrun those plays.
Ron Springs, as you see, has come out of the ball game, leaving the Cowboys with Tony Dorsett as the lone setback. It is 2nd down. Goal to go from the 7. TD up the middle. 3-2-1 touchdown. Another great run for Dorsett. As he was hit at about the 5-yard line, kept spinning, kept driving forward. And Dorsett has his 2nd touchdown of the day and 70 yards rushing on the afternoon.
They just went right at him up inside. Now you watch, they're going to come right up inside. Direct handoff. See the center now, he's got him blocked right there, and he influenced him. He influenced, again, Joe Nash. Now he's just running up there, but Joe Nash, he didn't actually take him on physically. He influenced him and was overpowered by the nose tackle, and that opened the lane up laterally for him, Frank, and there's the hole.
Septien to try the extra point. Glenn Carano will hold. He's the Cowboys' 3rd-string quarterback, and he has said this week he is going to sign a contract with the Pittsburgh team in the new league after the conclusion of this season, if not earlier. Take a look at it one more time.
Here he is. He's going to drop the shoulder now. He knows the end zone's right there. He gets good forward body tilt. He's taking it in for the 6-point play.
3:57 left in the first half. Cowboys 14, Seahawks nothing. Getting ready to kick off. So far, with just under 4 minutes left to play in the first half, the Cowboys have controlled the ball for 17 minutes and 46 seconds, and the Seahawks have had it for 8 minutes and 17 seconds.
That, you'd have to say, is perfect execution of their game plan, because that's what Coach Landry wanted to do.
Dallas looking very crisp, except for the one interception thrown by White. David Hughes, 15-20, and hit it about the 25 to the 26-yard line. Decked at that point by Bruce Hunter, number 55. So the Cowboys in command, leading by a score of 14-0. They have out first down the Seattle Seahawks, 14-2 at this point. Along with Dick Vermeil, and so far it's been Tony Dorsett's day here in Seattle. This is the team, of course, involved in the trade which enabled Dorsett to wind up with the Dallas Cowboys. Who's to say, though, had they drafted him behind that expansion team, who's to say he'd have had the success he's had with Dallas behind a veteran club?
Well, I don't think he would have had the success. He might not be healthy today. He may not be in the league, you know, because they were young and didn't have the offensive linemen.
1st and 10, Seahawks at their 27-yard line. Just under 4 minutes left to play. First half. They trail 14-0. David Craig going over the middle and is caught by Charlie Young, the tight end. That's a first down at the 40-yard line. Michael Downs, the safety, almost got his hands on the ball, number 26, but couldn't handle it.
This is a nice play-action pass. Now watch him fake to Kurt. See him fake right there? Freezes everybody. Now he comes back, and Craig just sits in. Look at the poise of this young quarterback. Very accurate throw. Nice catch by Charlie. He moves to the ball. Good hands. He reaches out there with that big 6'5" frame, and he's got a big play. Nice job by Charlie Young.
Officials mark it at the 39-yard line of Dallas. It is 1st and 10 for the Seahawks. Johns to the left side. Largent to the right. Craig will throw it. Kurt Warner wants it and gets it. Out of bounds at the 32-yard line. That'll be a pickup of 7. Everson Walls finally running the great Seahawk rookie runner out of bounds. Chuck Knox. Chuck's son played on the state championship team, which played in this arena last night, won the state championship. He's got a great running back.
Yeah, he made 100-something yards last night. He made 200 yards last week. Only carried the ball 10 times last night. Chuck's really proud of it.
2nd down. Seahawks need 3 for the first down at the Dallas 32. They trail 14-0, trying to come back with a score before intermission. Cowboys doing a lot of stunning in that defensive line. Colin Bryant, the fullback, gets the call. Down to the 28-yard line. Other scores around the National Football League. There are 3 other games in progress, and San Francisco realizing that they can capitalize on the Rams' loss to the Eagles today, jumping on Tampa Bay early, leading 14-0. The New York Jets and Baltimore are tied in the second period. I imagine the weather's not too great in Baltimore. It's been rather miserable in the East for other games today. And Denver leading Cleveland 14-3. Now you think the Browns would be fired up after Pittsburgh lost today. Measurement indicating that the Seahawks picked up the first down at the 29.
It's been a while since they made a first down. Now they have to keep the ball going if they're going to get back in this football game.
Dallas with a big advantage in the first down department so far. And on the scoreboard at 14-0, the Cowboys lead it. Seahawks have been down to the 3-yard line and then fumbled early in the game, and Dallas turned it around and turned it into a 97-yard touchdown drive. Blitz this time. Craig gets it away, and it's almost intercepted by Everson Walls, intended for Largent. And Everson Walls, who has now gone 6 games without an interception, which is the longest streak he has had in his NFL career, looking for one.
He actually, Largent fell down on that play. Otherwise, it might have had a reception. But you see him going down there to the breaking point, see him plant that foot there, and he just got his weight a little too far forward, and he fell down, and that gave the free lane to Emerson Walls.
2nd down, 10 from the Dallas 29. That was Harvey Martin, but he got back. Warner gets a couple up the middle. Of course, on defense, you can move across, and if you get back before the ball is snapped, you're all right.
The experienced center many times, and the experienced quarterback, you'll just goose that center a little bit, and he'll snap it at that time and head with a snap count and get that easy 5 yards. I've seen it happen many times.
Well, Craig, of course, a young quarterback. He's been with this team for several years, but he hasn't played all that much. and succeeded Jim Zorn as the starting quarterback when Zorn had some interception problems earlier in the year. Clock is run down to the 2-minute warning. We'll be back at the Seattle Kingdome in just a moment. Left to play in the first half. Cowboys leading by 2 touchdowns. Both clubs have all 3 of their timeouts left, and when we go back to play, the Seahawks have the football with a 3rd and 8 upcoming at the 27. There's Norm Johnson, the field goal kicker, who was the hero of last week's 51-48 track meet with Kansas City. He hit a 42-yarder with 3 seconds left in the game to tie it, and then a 42-yarder to win it in overtime. 3rd down, 9 needed for the first down. Seahawks at the Dallas 27. Cowboys showing blitz. Here they come. Craig gets it away to Largent. That should be enough for the first down at the 17-yard line. Emerson Walls made the stop, but Craig did a good job reading the blitz.
Did a nice job. I believe that was a side adjustment. Now he's looking to the inside. See him looking to the inside? Now he gives a little stick and comes in on that slant, man-to-man. Nice tackle right there by Everson. Nice tackle, but I think they made the first down. Yep, they did.
1st and 10 for the Seahawks now at the Dallas 17. Clock still moving with 1:25 left to play. They have all 3 of their timeouts left. Warner in motion. Craig gets the pass away, throws it out of the end zone. We got a marker thrown down around the 10-yard line. See what this one's all about. Gonna go against Seattle. Offensive pass interference. Chuck Knox saying, I can't believe it. We keep messing ourselves up. Mistakes, penalties, turnovers. That's cost the Seahawks field position here in the first half so far.
Friday on the practice field, Frank, I watched him working on their inside the 20 passing attack, and Craig was awfully sharp at throwing corner patterns off to the left side here.
Here's Jim Tunney, the referee, with the call.
Pass interference, offense, number 32. Still first down.
It was against Colin Bryant, who was down around the 10-yard line. So the walk-off will move the ball back to the 22-yard line. It is first down, and now 20 needed for the first. They have to get to the 7 to pick up the first down. Ball is at the 27-yard line. Craig under pressure, trying to get away, and Randy White and Harvey Martin wouldn't let him go. Harvey surrounded him from the right side and forced him to run into the arms of Randy White. However, we've got a marker thrown down at the 10-yard line. Penalty marker down to the field. And this one looks like it's going to go against Dallas.
Starting to play drop the hanky out here, Frank.
Jim Tunney marks off yardage to the 22, and again, here's the call.
Holding, number 32, 5 yards in the previous spot, and first down.
Defensive holding against Dennis Thurman of the Cowboys, number 32.
Now they're back in the shotgun. You can see that Randy White and Harvey Martin are going to appear here quickly. Here they come. See Harvey coming around there, number 79. No penalties there, just darn good pass rush. You know who was rushing the passer a little better today than we've seen him is Harvey Martin, number 79.
Of course, he started playing stronger for the Cowboys on Thanksgiving Day against St. Louis.
Maybe he's just getting in shape.
Getting ready for the stretch run. 1st and 10. Seahawks at the Dallas 22. Charlie Young in motion. Craig back to throw. Again under pressure. Is dropped at the 28. John Dutton, number 78. And again, Randy White. You don't want to get Randy White mad.
Don't make him mad, because you can use different techniques to get him blocked sometimes, but if they make him mad, then you're really in trouble. See, the quarterback sees there Dickerson, 51, right in his face, and it pushes him up inside, and there the rushman work. Dutton and Randy White.
So the loss moves the ball back to the 28-yard line. The clock is moving with 45 seconds left to play in the first half. The Seahawks still have timeouts to spare. Now they're looking at a 2nd and 16. Walker is wide to the right side. Largent inside of him. Craig from the shotgun. Flag down. Walker for the touchdown, but there's a penalty marker behind the line of scrimmage. Holding Seattle, no score. Byron Walker.
Frank, that was the corner pattern I was talking to the fans about just a few minutes ago that I saw him throwing on the practice field Friday. Number 76, Steve August, evidently was called holding on Ed Jones, number 72.
The right tackle, Steve August, who is a questionable starter coming into this game because of some injury problems, called for holding. Now, he is the one man that the Seahawks have left from the Tony Dorsett trade. As the Cowboys traded their number 1 and 3 number 2 draft picks for the rights to draft Dorsett to move up. And August is the only guy the Seahawks have left. He was a number 1 draft choice. He's out. Hernandez is in. Second down, 26. Seahawks are back to their 38-yard line. 29 seconds left in the half. Craig back to throw it. Over the middle, completes it. Paul Johns, number 85, the wide receiver from Tulsa, who played his high school football in Waco, Texas.
His brother, Freeman, was a wide receiver for the Los Angeles Rams. You know, it's amazing how many times you run into and you evaluate these rosters, how many times they have a brother or an uncle or a dad or somebody that played in the National Football League.
Freeman Johns, good football player at SMU prior to going into the pros. Well, they're still looking at a 3rd and long. 3rd down, 16 for the Seahawks with the ball at the 28. And 22 seconds left on the clock. Again, the Seahawks still have timeouts to work with here. They've done all this without using a timeout. Craig has it knocked loose. Who got it? I believe the Seahawks recovered at the 33-yard line. Reggie McKenzie, number 67, came up with the football. Randy White was down on the ground, and I believe the ball rolled right behind him, and he didn't see it until too late.
I think, personally, from where I watched that play and studied it, it appeared to me that the quarterback started his throwing action. It was an incomplete pass.
Now they're bringing it back to the 37-yard line. And that may indeed have been the ruling.
Seattle.
Timeout call by the Seahawks.
Here he is back in the shotgun, going to get the snap.
Fumble. Ball will be returned in the spot of the fumble. It's now 4th.
He's going back to throw. You can see now this stunt. See Smerrick, number 60, coming around. The lineman does a nice job of picking him up. He had started his throwing motion. I really think that's an incomplete pass.
Well, they called it a fumble. Of course, you saw McKenzie recover it, but because it happened inside of the 2-minute warning, they bring the ball back to the point of the fumble. So that's the ruling, and now the ball is at the 37-yard line, and the Seahawks, with 14 seconds left in the half, are going to go for the field goal. Norm Johnson is in. Zorn will hold, and this is going to be a moonshot.
His career long is 48 yards.
This is a 55-yard attempt. It is up. It is long enough. It is good. Norm Johnson. Officially, they will give him 54 yards. And the Seahawks are on the scoreboard with 9 seconds left to play in the first half. And ties a Seattle club record. 54 yards originally set by an ex-Dallas Cowboy, Efren Herrera. And Johnson is ready to kick off. Just 9 seconds left on the clock. They go with the onside kick. Little squiver. Cowboys bounce it around a while and finally manage to maintain control at the 35. Coming up at halftime, Brent Musburger and Irv Cross. Lots of scores and highlights and some look at the nasty weather in the East today at some of the NFL games, which has kept the scoring down.
It always gets miserable back there about to play a good football game.
Last play of the first half, as Danny White simply kneeling down to run out the clock. So it has been pretty much all Dallas so far here in the first half, but the Seahawks do get a little life on the strength of that 54-yard field goal by Norm Johnson. Cowboys with 2 touchdowns by Tony Dorsett. Dick Vermeil and Frank Lieber, and we'll be back in Seattle.
They've done a real good job. That's the best pass rush I've seen Dallas have, and this is the 5th time. They're really, Harvey Martin's coming off the ball. Of course, Randy always does. Intense pass rush.
They don't have to blitz as much as they've had to in the past.
Well, you don't have to take chances. If the down 4 are getting the heat on the quarterback, why take chances and single up those receivers on your defensive backs? They're getting enough pressure with those 4 down linemen.
Well, Chuck Knox told us, beat the Cowboys, you can't make mistakes. They've made mistakes, penalties, fumbles. What do you think Seattle has to do to get back in this thing?
Well, number one, I think they've got to be more efficient on first down. They really haven't done a good job at first down. They've ended up on a lot of 2nd and longs and 3rd and longs. I think come out in the second half, throw the ball short on first down, like Dallas has done in the first half. Get the 7, 8 yard pass and end up with 2nd and 3 and 2nd and 9, or maybe a 1st and 10 again. But don't go downfield so much on first down with that ball.
Be very, very important which team scores first here in the 3rd period of play. Cowboys and the Seahawks back in the field prior to the start of the second half. And we'll have the kick.
Seahawks with the alternate option here in the second half, obviously electing to receive. And Rafael Septien will be kicking off for the Dallas Cowboys. You see Dennis Thurman talking to his troops there. Dennis, new papa.
Yes, he is. His wife, Elsie, gave birth to a baby girl, Chelsea, yesterday. Elsie and Chelsea.
Elsie and Chelsea. 2 of the Dallas Cowboys who is on that kickoff team. Dennis Thurman, our congratulations to him. Cowboys leading by a score of 14-3, and a pretty well dominated play in this football game. They've done a good job of hanging on to the ball. There's Dennis.
He's a proud papa, I'll tell you.
Hughes will take this 5 yards deep in the end zone and will not run it out. So the Seahawks will put it in play 1st and 10 at their 20-yard line. Give us an opportunity to look over the first half statistics. One of the big stats, of course, the yardage rushing, which really sticks out like a sore thumb, and the time of possession.
Right. Well, Dallas is supposed to be Seattle's supposed to be the rushing team. And look at, they had 16 yards. Credit the Dallas defense, though, because, you know, they've been number 2 in the NFL against the run.
Kurt Warner thus far has carried 6 times for a total of 10 yards. So the Cowboys have done an excellent job of the #1 rusher in the American Football Conference. David Craig at quarterback. The fake to Warner. Craig comes out throwing the ball and completes it to Steve Largent. Out of bounds at the 28-yard line, so a pickup of 8. This is the way that the 2 great running backs compared in the first half, and so far it's been all Tony Dorsett.
And they're both, you know, great backs. The big difference is Dorsett is running against Seattle's defense, which has not really been good against the run all year. And in contrast, Warner's running against the Cowboys, and they're number 2 in football against the run. Right?
Maybe a little difference, too, in the caliber of the 2 respective offensive lines.
Well, they've been running the ball well all year, but it's just Dallas's defense is tough to run on.
2nd down. Seahawks with a long 1 needed for the first down. They give it to Warner, and he is tripped up behind the line of scrimmage at the 26-yard line for a loss of 3 on the play. Oh, he saw nothing there. Ed Jones, number 72, blocked out a lot of light, and Warner had no place to go.
Ed Jones, number 72, just physically took the defense. Watch him now. Watch. Look, and he takes the offensive tackle and stuffs him back in the ball now, see? And he had no room to cut. Hernandez was back in the cutting lane back there behind the line of scrimmage, number 69. Boy, that Jones is a physical son of a gun at 6'7", 6'8".
So instead of 2nd and 1, the Seahawks now looking at 3rd and 4. Craig out of the shotgun. Ed Jones rips him down behind the line. Too tall Jones. 2 straight Pro Bowls and probably on his way to a 3rd, and would not be denied. Look at him run over his man.
Now see him now. You have a rookie who is a defensive tackle in college playing offense for his first year. Just gets beat right to the outside. Now the offensive lineman should have worked firmer to the outside and made Too Tall take the longer course to the quarterback, but he's just not experienced enough. See, he's playing in place now of the starting Steve August.
That was Matt Hernandez at Too Tall beat. Weston to do the punting from his own 2. High kick and very short. Bounces at the 45, almost hits a Dallas player. Maybe it did. And if it did, it'll be the Seahawks ball. Let's see. Seattle's ball, yes. It hit Robert Newhouse, and it was fielded by number 86, Mike Tice, who is a backup tight end. Newhouse never saw it come down.
It looked or appeared to me from here that it really did hit. Now see, the two people right there in the middle of your screen, now the ball takes the big bounce to the left. That's a live ball now that it's touched. There he's got it right there. Seattle ball. Tice was a college quarterback. Now he's converted to a tight end.
He's their emergency quarterback. They only carry 2 on the roster. So the Cowboys, who would have had excellent field position, now instead find themselves on defense once again. Seattle 1st and 10 at their 47. And Craig trying to take advantage. Going long to Paul Johns. 1st down. Seahawks at the 25. They ruled that Johns was down at the 25-yard line.
Johns ran a post pattern. See him at the top of your left of your screen. He's going to come off about 12 here. Stick him and just come inside between the safety and the corner Thurman right there. Actually, Downs has to get over and help Thurman inside on that pattern, Frank. He can't defense that all by himself.
27 yards of the pickup. And the crowd comes alive once again as the Seahawks have a 1st down at the Dallas 25. One running back, that's Warner. They've got, that's Bryant. They've got Warner on the wing off to the left. He starts in motion. Warner takes the handoff, almost hit behind the line. Running hard inside the 20 down to the 18-yard line. It was Too Tall Jones who got the penetration, number 72, and got one hand on Warner in the backfield, but couldn't hold him.
There's a little fake to the inside counter action. Now the guard pulling, but see, Too Tall was in the backfield there. He had whipped Hernandez, number 69. Now you've got the great running back up in there after him. See, now watch Jones right to the right of your screen. See, bang, the tight end tried to block down on him and couldn't do it. And really, my experience of coaching the Cowboys, it's almost a waste of time to block down on Too Tall with a tight end. You can't get him.
On 2nd and 3, Warner up the middle, finds a hole. Gets inside the 15 to the 13-yard line. That's enough for a Seattle 1st down. Jones making the stop once again for Dallas. Look at these Seattle fans. This is a traditional type of cheer that they do, and maybe the best organized cheer in the National Football League.
I've never seen anything like this, Frank. Kurt Warner just sort of raised his hand, and here all the rest of the fans react.
1st and 10, Seahawks at the Dallas 13. Warner fumbles the ball, and Dallas is recovered at the 14-yard line. Anthony Dickerson, number 51, falls on the football. And so much for that threat. 2nd time, Seahawks have fumbled inside their 15.
This is on the quarterback all the way. David Craig, the quarterback. Now see him, watch that. He runs right over the ball carrier. Look at him run right into it. That's on the quarterback. He just had to be totally confused to do that.
Cowboys' 1st offensive possession of the 2nd half coming up in just a minute. Their unusual view of the Seattle Kingdome from ground level. And that's our situation here in the 3rd period of play. Cowboys get their hands on the football offensively for the very 1st time as a result of Dickerson's fumble recovery.
There had to be a breakdown in the execution by the quarterback. I really believe he just forgot about the sprint spot or the exchange point in which he meshes with the running back, and he ran right through it. He almost ran into the fullback.
Costly mistake, because you figure from that distance Seattle's got at least 3. Butch Johnson wide to the right side. Tony Hill in the slot inside of him. Doug Cosby, the tight end, is in motion. Dorsett at the 10, 15. Tony Dorsett to the 20, 25, and out of bounds after picking up the 1st down at the 26-yard line. He saw the little red marker on the sidelines where the out-of-bounds marker was, and he took just one extra step that he needed to be sure he got the 1st.
Watch Danny White, the quarterback, number 11, come back here. Now fake the screen to the right. Now reverse around and screen to the left. That's done to keep the linebackers running opposite and allow the lineman to get out in front of the screen. Now he's just using his speed to get out. There he goes out of bounds. You know, Shelton Robinson, number 57, was chasing him over there.
1st down for the Cowboys at their 26. Thus far, Dorsett has had a big afternoon here in Seattle. Dallas leading 14-3 in the 3rd period. Danny White, good protection for Tony Hill. Hill makes the catch, goes out of bounds at the 44-yard line of Dallas. 1st and 10 for an NFL Today report. Let's go to Brent Musburger in New York.
Frank, the San Francisco 49ers are closing in on the Los Angeles Rams in the NFC West. This makes it 21 on the Montana Scramble. Frank, incidentally, the LSU job is closed up. Now I hear your partner Dick Vermeil's going to Stanford. What about that gossip?
I think you're one behind, Brett. I think yesterday we heard Oklahoma. They got you going everywhere.
I'm just going home.
That's all he wants to go. Just let him go back to Philadelphia. 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. Dorsett gets a yard, no more. Greg Gaines, number 56, the right outside linebacker, making the stop for the Seattle Seahawks. Last 3 ball games, Dorsett has run 32, 28, 55 yards for touchdowns. That's coming into this game, and he's got 2 touchdown runs here today. 2nd down. Cowboys need 9 for the 1st down at their 45-yard line. Crowd trying to get the Seahawks into it. They're doing everything they can. It's a very loud stadium. Tony Hill to the left side, Johnson to the right. Here's a blitz, easily coming in. They set up the screen to Springs. 50, 45, 40, 35. Springs is at the 25. We got flags all over the place. And he's run out of bounds at the 13-yard line. Well, did they have the perfect play set up for the blitz?
Oh, really? When you get a screen off against the blitz, everybody is up after the quarterback, including many times your linebackers and maybe even a safety. And when he catches that ball, there are very few people left to run him down.
He'll get some of that gain, but not all of it. Blocking from behind. Above the waist against the Cowboys. That would have been a 42-yard pickup, but some of it will be erased. Will turn into about a 10-yarder when things turn out, maybe 15.
You can see Ron Springs turn on that track speed.
Illegal block in the back. Number 80, 10 yards. 1st down.
Turns out to be a 17-yard pickup.
Now watch, he's going back there. Now see the rush coming up here to the outside. You'll see him coming out. The rest of the rush. There he got the screen right up in the middle. Dallas does this better than anybody. Now he's going. Let's see if we can see that block from behind. Here it is right here. Bang! Hill hits him from behind. It's not a vicious block, but it's an illegal block.
Tony Hill on Dave Brown, the defensive back of the Seahawks. Nevertheless, 1st down at the Seahawk 43. And Tony Dorsett is ripped down at the line of scrimmage by Jeff Bryant, number 77. Seems like we've been calling his name an awful lot.
I think Bryant really has played the outstanding game for the of defense for Seattle. I believe there was a tight end blocking down on him, and he didn't get it done because I saw the tackle pull and get on the linebacker.
He was the 6th player picked in the draft when he came out a couple of years ago. A lot of people thought maybe he shouldn't have been picked that high. But he's turned out into a splendid defensive end for the Seahawks.
Yeah, he's a good one. He's a great, you know, he was undefeated as a wrestler, too. Really a talented athlete. Didn't know that.
2nd and 10 for the Cowboys at the Seahawks 43. White back to throw it. Again hitting Ron Springs. Pickup is to the 37-yard line before he's tackled by Sheldon Robinson, number 57.
Mr. Springs
does a great job catching the football. That's 5 for him, and he now has broken the Cowboys' single-season pass reception record. Got 66 on the year. Gives him 1 more than Frank Clark's previous mark set in 1964. Now here's a record setter for
See, they
him.
have a screen being faked out there to the right, which draws the people up in front. Now it's just strictly between the linebacker, Sheldon Robinson, and Ron Springs, and Ron wins.
3rd down. Dallas needs 6 for the 1st down at the 38-yard line of Seattle. Danny White. First time that the Seahawks have really put the heat on him and sack him at the 44. And that, of course, means that Dallas will also lose field goal range. Mark Hicks, number 63, making the sack. And the Cowboys will be punting.
He held on to the ball. I think the coverage took away the pattern initially and gave the rush time to get there. Then he decided he was going to run up inside, and all of a sudden there was the Mark Hicks.
Jim Miller picked up as a free agent, and Paul Johns is the deep man for Seattle. Miller standing on his 40. As we said, he's the only barefooted punter in the NFL. Angling for the near side coffin corner,
and gets it out of bounds. Looks like inside the 10. Let's see where they mark it. Maybe just outside the 10. They're going to put it at the 12. Pretty good punts by the Cowboys' newest acquisition. We've got a timeout with 7:59 left in the
Seahawks at their 12-yard line. David Craig has gone all the way at quarterback.
Hit 10 out of 14 passes for 148 yards. Most of them the shorter percentage throws, but he showed us he's got a pretty good arm. Seattle trailing 14-3. Kurt Warner, who's been held in check. We get a marker thrown as Randy White makes the stop on the sensational rookie All-American from Penn State after a gain of just a yard of the play. That would normally indicate a holding penalty. Let's see. Yes, against Seattle. Will cost them half the distance to the goal. And Jim Tunney, former high school principal who now lives at Pebble Beach and does motivational speaking for a living, will do the walk-off here. Long-time NFL referee and one of the best in the business.
Very much respected by all the coaches.
Holding 66, half the distance to the goal line. Still first down.
That's Bill Dugan, who is filling in for Robert Pratt at the right guard position.
He had no idea when he got up this morning that he was going to be starting this football game.
Pratt turned up sick. 1st and 16 for the Seahawks, who are back to their 6. Craig throwing from the end zone. Bullet over the middle. Completes it, but not much there to Charlie Young. Pickup of just a couple of yards in the play. For another NFL report, once again, here's Brent in New York.
Frank, apparently the Buccaneers are not quite finished yet. Now, Jack Thompson pulls out, and Kevin House has had a horrible season for John McKay this year, but he still has that great speed. He gets deep. On this time, 74 yards now, and the Buccaneers at least have got a shot. It's 21-14 San Francisco. Back to Frank and Dick.
Boy, how many times you see that underthrown pass fielded for a big gain.
The defender
2nd
can't
down,
see it.
14, Seahawks. From their 7, Craig again in the end zone. Gets this one out, and it is incomplete. He had Cullen Bryant, who had some running room over on the far sideline, but Bryant couldn't field it. And his shoe tops.
Randy White was sitting right there in David Craig's face, too, because David ended up on the ground.
Craig came on for Seattle at halftime of the Pittsburgh game when they were behind 24-0. Did a good job. And he's been with this club 3.5 years, so he is no rookie, but he is a free agent. Played at this very small college in Wisconsin by the name of Milton, and still lives in that area. Loves to go home and go ice fishing during the winter.
You know, he had over a 400-yard game against Denver a few weeks ago, so you know he can throw, but they haven't handled the rush real well today.
3rd down and 14. Seattle from its 7. Craig trying to pick up the 1st down. That one could be picked off and would have been had not the 2 Cowboys run into each other. Craig was really decked in the end zone. Ron Fellows was over there, and so was Everson Walls. And they collided, or they would have had a cinch interception. As it is, the Seahawks will punt.
Quarterback's just not getting enough time. He looks like he's going to have some time initially, but coming around, Randy White, 54, is picked up on the stunt. But you can see Smerrick, number 60, hit him just as he threw the ball. No way you can throw it accurately or very far downfield.
Well, Walls thought he had his first interception in 6 games, and Fellows kind of knocked him off. So now it's the Seahawks punting out of their end zone, and Dallas should wind up with good field position here. Dallas standing on his 50-yard line.
Seattle's the #1 punt coverage team in the National Football League right now.
They're coached by Rusty Tillman.
Beautiful
This
punt.
is a great kick. Fellows all the way back to his 38. Up to the 45. And trying to get it to midfield, and just does.
You know, Fellows is running straight upfield better right now than he did prior to being relieved of the responsibilities.
55 yards on the punt by Jeff West. We've got a timeout. Shades in the suntan lotion, because that's where we're going to be next week, and you'll be interested to see if indeed Dan Marino is ready to go, and he was shaken up today in the game with Houston. You'll be looking at 2 of the top 4 quarterbacks in the NFL.
Well, Bartkowski and Marino, you know, we know that Atlanta can score. It'll be a case whether they can stop Miami from scoring enough points to make it a real tough game. I think it'll be a good football game.
Cowboys with good field position here. Nose of the ball just into Seattle's end of the field. 1st down, Dallas. We've had no scoring here in the second half. 14-3 Cowboys with 6:51 left in the 3rd. Danny White, excellent protection all day to throw the ball. Hits Doug Cosby. His tight end for the first time. He has got 10 yards and a first down. Let's bring you up to date on a couple of other scores. Games in progress around the league. Jets and Baltimore are slugging it out in Baltimore with the Jets leading 10-6. That's in the third period of play. And Denver pouring it on Cleveland 24-6. Now, what more motivation could the Browns need than having Pittsburgh lose today?
Denver might be every bit as much fired up, you know.
They got
like
a shot
to
at
win.
the playoffs too, right?
They want to stay in there, so there's no such thing as a meaningless game when two teams are playing like in that situation.
There's only 5 teams out of it right now. Second down, they say it wasn't enough for the first down. They're looking at second and inches. The Cowboys from the Seattle 40. When in doubt, give it to Dorsett. He has the first down. And some more as he takes it to the 35-yard line. A pickup of 5 yards on the play for the Cowboy running back, which gives him 75 on the afternoon so far. Look at Tony.
Watch him run. He's going to take a little counter step to the right. See, to freeze the linebackers and allow Howard Richards, the big right guard you see to the left corner of your screen, blocking out. See him blocking out right there on number 55. Then Keith Butler, number 53, comes up and makes a play. But that Dorsett, he just glides in there, and then he sees the hole, and all of a sudden, boom, he turns on the afterburner, and through he goes.
He really explodes. First and 10 for the Cowboys at the Seahawks 35-yard line. Cowboys are 36-2 in games that Dorsett has gained 100 yards or better. Dorsett picking up 3 over the right side down to the 32-yard line. He's trying to equal his career high here of 3 straight 100-yard games. He did it as a rookie. And he could be working on his best year ever.
You know, Dallas is using a lot of counter action with those running backs. They're always stepping to one side and then coming and running back up in there to freeze those backers.
Crowd having a great time. Look at the Seattle crowd, 64,000 strong. This was their earliest sellout. They sold out this ball game back in August. And the Cowboys, of course, are used to playing before sellout crowds on the road, as well as at Texas Stadium. Second down, 7. White trying to set up the pass to Dorsett. Got it back to the line of scrimmage, and that was it. Bruce Schultz, number 58, the left outside linebacker from Texas, sniffed that one out pretty good.
Well, Bruce did a nice job. He's their leading tackler, and he's been the most consistent linebacker. Of course, he hasn't been hurt either. The other linebackers have been banged up and missed games during the year.
I think we pointed out to you before that the designation C on Danny White and on Drew Pearson as well and Bob Brunig on their jerseys stand for captain. That is the Cowboys' way of recognizing their captains.
I wonder if they're going to put a sticker on the helmet saying for sale.
Well, Pat Donovan said that was a possibility. Third and 10, big play in this drive for the Cowboys at the Seahawks 35. White, protection good, unloads it for Doug Donnelly in the end zone, touchdown! Doug Donnelly, who has been out with an injury in recent weeks from Ohio State. He had a big game against the Giants earlier this year with 6 catches. Been trouble with a knee injury, and he comes back and comes up with a touchdown from 35 yards away.
The key to this thing is Danny just gets all the time he needs. Now look at him. He's sitting there waiting. Hey, go ahead and run that post pattern. And then he goes ahead and lets it go down the hole. There comes the receiver right there. And Kerry Justin just couldn't make it. We just gave him too much time.
Justin
look at right at
to
the
take a
end.
swipe at
Kerry
it.
Justin, number 26, just goes ahead and gets it. It's a game of inches, isn't it? Game of inches. He's 2 inches off. There's a touchdown.
Septien on to try the extra point. Carano will put it down. Perfect. 3 minutes, 45 seconds left to play in the third period. Doug Donnelly has scored for the Cowboys, and Dallas, with the first score of the second half, moves out to a 21-3 lead. Knowing that the Redskins won today, need a victory to tie Washington once again and set the stage for the big showdown at Texas Stadium next Sunday afternoon. Cowboys only had to travel 49 yards. Septien ready to kick off. Hughes is deep. They've been kicking it toward him and away from Zachary Dixon, who is their best kickoff returner. That's Dixon, who used to play for the Colts. In fact, you had Dixon in Philadelphia one time.
Yes, I did. He was there, and he was doing a good job for us. He hurt his ankle, and he was on injured reserve for a while. Then we let him go, and that's when Baltimore picked him up at the end of the year.
Well, he's returned one for a touchdown this year, a 94-yarder, and he'll return this one from the goal line. After the 10, 15, 20, 25, across the 30 to the 32-yard line.
You can see that He really runs. Zachary Dixon really runs with intensity on those kickoff returns. He really likes to challenge people.
Coming up next week on CBS, I think one of the best doubleheaders of the year. And you're going to see some football. First half.
In contrast to that one.
1st and 10. Seahawks ball at their 31. They're down 21-3. Craig comes out throwing. Charlie Young hanging on. Young at the 50 drops the ball. But the Seahawks managed to recover at the 49. Paul Johns, number 85, the wide receiver, alertly covered the ball, and the Seahawks will have the first down at the Dallas 48.
What is really amazing is that Dave Craig got this ball off. Now watch him drop back right there. See, he's back plant. He's looking for the ball. Now watch what happens to him. Boom. 2 guys deck him. Charlie reaches up, makes a nice one-hand catch, having a hard time getting it locked away. Tuck it away, Charlie. Then he's going to switch it and loses it. My gosh, he's going to give a coach a heart attack.
And there you see Johns beating Mike Downs to the ball. 1st and 10, Seahawks at the Dallas 49. They need some offense and need it in a hurry. Kurt Warner trying to get outside, but he has had nothing but white shirts on him all day. Cowboys have done a great job defending him.
Really great outside linebacker play by Mike Hagman. He really worked inside out on that play, just like you drill all through training camp. Extremely well-coached crew of linebackers.
How about this for Warner so far? 10 carries for 17 yards.
That just proves that everybody's got to be able to help you to be as good as you're going to be as a running back. That's all.
You're not a one-man team.
No, sir, especially against the Dallas defense.
Loss of 2 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 12 for the Seahawks at the 50. Craig sending Largent wide to the left side. He's got Paul Johns split to the right. Both Tulsa University products. Cullen Bryant and Warner in the backfield. Craig to throw. Dickerson almost got there, going long. Incomplete at the 15-yard line. Largent thought he had it for a moment. Dennis Thurman did a pretty good job staying with him. And the pass was pretty well there. Not the only place Craig could throw it.
Now you can see they're up playing real tight. Now Largent sort of lulls him right there. Now watch him take off and go on him. And he has the ball. And I think actually the AstroTurf knocked it out. See right there? He couldn't get it tucked away. That's right. He just couldn't get it tucked away firmly enough to prevent the collision with the AstroTurf from knocking it out, Frank.
Well, the ground can't cause a fumble, but it can cause an incompletion.
That's right. Dennis Thurman did a good job on that, too. He was right on him. He'd better. He's got a lot of mouths to feed right now, doesn't he?
One extra as of yesterday. 3rd down and 12 for the Seahawks. Craig 12 out of 19 on the afternoon for 170. Here comes the rush. Had a hurry at a little bit, intended for Paul Johns, incomplete, and the Seahawks will have to punt. Once again, here's Brent in New York.
Frank, San Francisco now is just lining up and trying to run the ball on the Buccaneers. They get Tyler going in motion, ring in behind him 3 yards out, and so now the 49ers get a little more daylight, 28-14. Back to Frank and Dick.
Well, Bill Walsh got to be a happy man the way things are going right now for the 49ers, and especially with L.A. losing. Here's Weston to do the punting. 2 minutes, 29 seconds left in the 3rd period as Ron Fellows awaits the boot. Nice high kick by West. Bouncing at the 5 and out of bounds at the 2. Just what he wanted to do. Officials will mark the ball at the 3-yard line when we come back. 21-3 here in the 3rd period. Again, a reminder, next weekend, doubleheader weekend on CBS. The first of 2 games, either you'll see New Orleans take on the Eagles or San Francisco against the Buffalo Bills. And then, of course, the big one between the Cowboys and the Redskins, the second half of the doubleheader. Right here on CBS. Of course, what they're playing for, essentially, is for the home field advantage in the playoff. Both the Redskins and the Cowboys are already in the playoffs.
Not only that, they're playing for the week off, win the championship, win your division championship, and get that week off.
1st and 10, Dallas backed up to its 3 after the 47-yard punt by Jeff West. And Dorsett is hit at the 1-yard line. Joe Nash, number 72, the nose tackle, came through virtually untouched. This position on the field looked familiar to you?
Oh, yes, a little while ago they went 97 yards from there. Remember the first quarter? Went 97 for the touchdown. Joe Nash jumped around the center there on some kind of a line slant and the center was isolated on him, didn't have any help, but darn near got him in the backfield.
Well, now they've got 99 to go for the touchdown because they're back at the 1-yard line and looking at a 2nd and 12.
A lot of people throw in this situation right here.
Hill to the left, Butch Johnson to the right. Drew Pearson has not played. Dorsett over the right side to about the 4. Pick up a 3, so Cowboys will have a 3rd and 9 with the clock ticking away the last 1 minute and 30 seconds of the 3rd quarter here at the Kingdome. Bert Peterson, number 65, will appear on your screen, shuttling in the play from the bench. There he is, replacing Howard Richards.
They used to do that with the left guard.
Herb Scott,
and Peterson injured his back and missed some time, so they're not playing him full time, and they let Herb stay in the ballgame.
Seahawk fans imploring their team to hold him there. 3rd and 9. Shotgun, White lined up in the end zone.
Seattle's not in a nickel defense.
Inside handoff to Dorsett. Out to the 5. I don't believe he got enough for the first. Let's see where they spot. It's going to be close, however, at about the 13-yard line. That's where he needed to get. Inside handoff from the shotgun.
This is just a basic sweep. Now watch both guards. See both guards. One's going to kick out. One's going to seal back off inside. See Scott coming around now? He's going to seal. He should seal inside. You can see Peterson, 65, kicking outside. Very well executed play, but they had too many yards to go.
4th down and a yard. And Danny White standing 2 yards deep in the end zone. The Seahawks have 10 men up at the line of scrimmage, leaving back only Paul Johns to field the punt. Let's see if they come after it. Johns will field this one at his own 48. Rod Hill missed him. Billy Bates got him. Bates, number 40, making the stop at the 48-yard line of Dallas. And Bates, of course, has been a dynamite special teams performer all year. Now, he's been a guy that's got a lot of recognition. In fact, when I talked to him the other day, he said when he went back home last week, all the fans said to him, how much are you paying Madden and Vermeil to do your publicity?
Well, I think both of us as coaches respect that kind of intensity and continual performance. I'd like to see a guy like that put in the Pro Bowl. Why not put a player in each division in the Pro Bowl because he's an outstanding special teams player?
Other than a kick returner or a
That's
kicker.
right. It'd be really fair and equitable.
I think it'd be a good, Bates would be a good nominee.
He'd have my vote.
1st and 10 from the 48 of Dallas. Warner cutting inside. 45 back outside and falls forward to the 44-yard line. And, of course, speaking of special team guys, next week Dick and I are going to be in Miami on Saturday afternoon for the game between the Falcons and the Dolphins. We saw Miami earlier this year, and they got one of the better special team players in Robert Soule.
Yeah, he's a fine defensive safety, but like Shula said, I've never seen a guy make as many big plays in special teams as that guy does. He would be one that would earn the right to go to the Pro Bowl in that division.
Why shouldn't he?
Well, it's probably a case of money. Well, they could probably just cut back on the number of cocktail parties they have in the NFL.
Well, one more player in each conference wouldn't hurt, I would think. That's the end of the 3rd period of play here in Seattle with the score 21-3 Cowboys. As we get the final period underway, Seahawks have the football. They have a 2nd down and 7 upcoming with the ball at the Dallas Cowboys 44. And if they're going to get back in this game, they've got to start doing it fast. Cowboys showing the blitz. Here comes Mike Downs, the safety blitz. Craig tried to dump it off to Paul Johns, and we get a flag thrown on Everson Walls for pass interference at the 35-yard line.
Bree didn't look like he interfered with him then. It looked like good defense.
Well, Everson shaking his head, saying didn't do it.
I agree with him. Let's see if we get a shot of that again. Maybe we can clarify it.
A pickup of just about 10 yards and a 1st down on the play at the Dallas 35.
Pass interference, defense, 24, 1st down.
Well, judge for yourself.
They ran a safety blitz, and they were going to side adjust that ball. See the safety coming right there, 26, Michael Downs. He's coming. He gets picked up nicely by the back. He lays it off inside. Gosh, I don't know. That's a very close call.
1st and 10. Cop out. Seattle on the Dallas 35. Flea flicker from Warner back to Craig. Gets it away for Johns in the end zone. It is knocked away by Michael Downs. The free safety Took a little bit too long to develop, looked like.
It did, but I'll tell you, Dallas' defense is so well disciplined and so well coached. It's hard to beat them on those kind of plays. Watch this now. He's going to hand it off. Now watch Warner turn around and flip it back. He still gets pass rush. Look at Tall right there on down his throat. He's late. Looks like he's going to get it, and there comes Downs. Has that great range of movement. Here he is. Looks like he's open. Downs coming, number 26 to the right of the screen. He's reaching for it. Nice job by Michael Downs. Good defense. Very sound safety play.
Speaking of the Cowboys defense, they have held the heralded Seattle rushing game to 26 yards so far in this game.
That's not very many yards, is it?
20 of those by Warner. 2nd and 10 from the Dallas 35. Craig under pressure from Bob Brunick, trying to run out of trouble. Incompleted forward pass. Craig went to the official, make sure he made the right call on that one. Said that was in the
grass.
There's a throw
in the grass.
Is that
down.
it?
Yep.
Well, Craig wants him to say incompleted forward pass, but Jim Tunney is saying no. He was in the grass, which would mean a big loss of the play back to the 46.
I think he definitely had him in the grass. Now look, he's going to come straight back. See here, he's going to make a little token fake again. That same action. You can see Burning number 53 coming up in there, and Dugan number 60. No, that was Connie. Didn't do a real good job there. Now watch, see what happens. Got him in the grass. Got him in the grass. Definitely good call. Randy White, number 54, had it.
When you get in Randy White's grasp, you are in the grass.
You are in the grass.
3rd down. 21 for the first down for the Seahawks. Going backwards again from the Dallas 46. Craig is smothered back at the 47-yard line, and Tall Jones, who has had a field day along with Don Smerrick, number 60, applying the pressure, and now the Seattle fans are getting a little unhappy.
Really, there's a physical mismatch and an experience mismatch going on to the right of the screen now. You're going to see Matt Hernandez, number 69, the right tackle, trying to block Tall Jones right there, and he just can't do it. Tall has too much experience and too much ability for an offensive tackle that's playing his first year of football as an offensive tackle.
The Cowboys have sacked Craig now a total of 7 times for minus 54. And West again to do the punting.
This guy gets the ball up in the air nicely.
Been very impressive so far. Used to kick with San Diego and also St. Louis. Great hang time. Fair catch, Ron Fellows at the 18-yard line. And Dallas will put it in play from there with 13 minutes and 45 seconds left to play in the game. But let's see if we got a marker down back at the line of scrimmage. Seahawks had a man who released early on the outside, so it'll go against Seattle. Let's see if the Cowboys will make him kick it again, or will take the ball at the 19.
I think they'll take the ball.
Ineligible man, number 37, downfield before the kick. Penalty is declined. First down.
You know, it's amazing how many punters have punted for more than one football team. Like you just said, Frank.
10 from the 19-yard line. By the way, for benefit of Cowboy fans, tickets for their first-round playoff game, which would be either a wild card game December 26th or a divisional playoff on New Year's Eve or January 1st, will go on sale next Saturday at Texas Stadium. Cowboys are assured at least one home game in the playoffs. Either a wild card game, they'll be the home club because of the best record, or a divisional game if they win the divisional championship. 1st and 10 from the 19-yard line. Dallas sitting on a 21-3 lead. Rich Johnson in motion. Dorsett the lone setback, and Tony D looking for some running room.
Good penetration by the defenders that time. He couldn't find a cutback lane.
Keith Butler, number 53, who shot through there first and kind of closed the door from Dorsett, forced him to the inside. And there was nothing there for him. 2nd down, 8 for the Cowboys, who are working on their 15th victory against one loss the week after Thanksgiving.
They must really like turkey, or playing turkeys.
Their turkey has tasted well on Thanksgiving Day because they've won 12 of those 16 games. Springs. And he is closed down at the line of scrimmage.
Real good defense right there. Real good pursuit, good penetration. Really got after him.
Michael Jackson, number 55, on the stop that time, and the Cowboys looking at a 3rd and 10. There's Harvey Martin on the left, and Tall, real bookends there.
They've been around for a long time, those guys have.
And Randy White kneeling down in front of him.
And there's Papa Thurman, number 32.
3rd down and 10 for the Cowboys at their 19-yard line. Dorsett's all-time club record for 100-yard rushing days, 4 in a row. He had 4 once upon a time. He's had 3 several times. And, of course, he's working on number 3 today if he gets to it. He's got 89 yards at this point in 22 carries. Blitz this time by Seattle. Donnelly, the receiver, they say he was out of bounds. And the Cowboys are really hot about this one. That's Al Levan, one of their assistant coaches. And Donnelly didn't appreciate the call either. He thought he had it in bounds. Again, you get a chance to make the call on this one.
Let's see. He has nice time back there. They pick up the linebacker dog, and the Nash coming around there, number 72, and he throws it right on money. 1, 2, 3. My God.
Easy.
Oh, my gosh.
Easy. Even the crowd looking at the instant replay is groaning about that call. They've got one of these huge scoreboards here where you can see the instant replay, and the crowd reacted. There's that scoreboard. And collectively said to themselves, well, we got a break there, because that wasn't even close.
It shows they do make mistakes.
White to do the punting. Paul Johns makes the catch at the 50-yard line after signaling for the fair catch. And the Seahawks will take over at that point.
Of course, Washington had lost to them, you know, in the league opener in Monday night game. Remember?
Well, that would be the first thing, actually.
Yeah.
Then they'd have beaten them head-to-head twice, so you wouldn't even have to go to the division. 1st and 10, Seahawks from their 49. Craig airing it out for Largent. Intercepted by Dennis Thurman at the 5-yard line. Thurman is back to the 20, 25, upfield to the 35, to the 40. And Papa Thurman comes up with an INT. And the Cowboys have a 1st down as Craig pretty well threw that one up for grabs.
You can see him coming off the line of scrimmage right now. He's going to push him hard, push on him. Now he's going to give him a little wrinkle and head for the post. Thurman was running real well with him, does a nice job, underthrowing slightly to the outside. There he makes the great play. Now he gets up, he's the running back. This guy's a gifted athlete, you know. Look at him go. He's having fun. He's a punt returner.
You recruited him once upon a time,
Yes,
right?
I did, yeah.
Lost that battle. He wound up at USC, was an All-American, and now, of course, a mainstay of the Dallas Cowboys.
Made Gene Stallings very happy there.
Kingdom, that's our situation. The Cowboys in command. 1st and 10 at their 39, and I imagine Tony Dorsett will get a chance to work on his 100-yard rushing game right now. He's got 89 and 22 carries as the Cowboys will try to run some time off that clock.
Well, they have 2 tight ends in there right now. That's most likely a running formation for him.
There's Tony.
Look at that cut.
Up to 40, 43, maybe the 44-yard line. Close to 5 on the play. We saw Bruce Schultz, number 58, the left outside linebacker, made the stop.
You know, Tony made 5 to 6 yards on that. The normal running back may not have made a yard. Now watch him. He's going to take the ball deep out of the eye. Now watch, he starts up inside. No place to go. Look at that cut right angle to the outside. Now watch this. Now back up inside. That is a talented young man.
Well, you talk about feet.
Oh, I know it.
You watch
It's a
his
great
feet.
example of what, you know, what we as coaches always say. I'm sure you as fans have heard the coach say, he's got great feet. He's got great feet. Well, that guy really has it.
6 yards to 100 for Dorsett. 2nd down, 5. Cowboys at their 44. It's time to fake to Dorsett. White goes downfield to Billy Joe Dupree for the 1st down at the Seattle Seahawks 40-yard line. Billy Joe is starting in his 157th straight game. Hasn't missed a game in 11 years and has indicated he will retire at the end of this year. However, said if Tom Landry asks him back next year, he might consider it.
You think he sort of gave him an invitation there?
I think he left the door open just a little bit.
Maybe it'll be in the Christmas card from the club. Will you please play again next year?
17-yard pickup on the play. Bring you up to date on Cleveland and Denver now in the 4th period. And the Broncos have dominated throughout the ball game. Cleveland got the first 3 points in that one. And since then, it's been all Denver.
I really think it's good to keep the Billy Joe Dupree type of player, character-wise and all that, in your program as long as you can, because they really make a contribution.
1st and 10 at the Seattle 40. Here comes Dorsett. Cuts back inside, 35-30. That's his 100-yard game right there. Out of bounds at the 23-yard line. Imagine if you Seattle fans are thinking, boy, if we only would have drafted him when we had the chance.
Oh, yeah. Now watch, he's going to slide across the formation. See him slide across like an inside draw, but it's an outside type play. Now here he goes. Up inside, accelerate between people. Poor tackling right there. Very poor tackling. Sheldon Robinson should have put him down. right now I think the Seattle defense is wearing down. They've been on the field too much, and they're losing that motivation right now. They're losing that intensity level.
17-yard pickup on the play. There's Dorsett's rushing stats against what the entire Seahawk team has done. So you'd have to say, if you're going to match this game, Dorsett versus Warner, Tony has got the edge. Fake to Dorsett, out to Tony Hill. Inside the 20, fights his way to the 17-yard line. Well, we'd certainly like to congratulate our colleague John Madden, who received an Emmy Award this week for being the outstanding sports analyst on television.
Well, he certainly deserved it. Oh, my gosh, nobody does a better job.
And CBS won a ton of Emmys, more than any other network, including one for its coverage of NFL football last year.
Well, that's great.
So that's a tribute to all of the people who work on our CBS telecasts each year. Second down, Dallas needs 5 for the first at the Seattle 18-yard line. Cowboys leading 21-3. Dorsett, little spin move there. Netted him maybe a yard, and that was it.
Did you see that move?
I saw it. little 360.
I don't. That's amazing. I don't know how in the heck he did that.
Well, that's our perch here in the Seattle
He goes in there
Kingdom.
and spins around, coming out. He probably, I'm sure he's done that successfully in the past.
Well, we got a great view of this football game, and I hope you're enjoying it from your living room. We have 64,000 friends along with us here at the Kingdome, world's largest concrete mushroom. It's kind of what it looks like from the outside.
Really, it's like playing football in the closet, though. It's the smallest dome, and boy, you can hear everything. You hear the huddle break, the hands clapping, and everything else.
Third down, 4. Dallas at the Seattle 16-yard line. Danny White to throw it. Under pressure, gets rid of the ball in the end zone. Touchdown, Butch Johnson. White was decked after he threw it, but drilled a bullet to Butch Johnson. That's his second touchdown catch in as many games. And the Cowboys have put this one away, I do believe. 16 yards on the score.
Again, it's just a case of giving Danny White too much time to throw. That guys can't cover people that long, Frank. He's sitting back there and makes a nice little avoid move right there. Now he gets decked late, but heck, the ball's already off his hand, and it's a beautiful throw to Butch Johnson. I bet you Butch is really excited because he really hasn't been given the opportunity to play regularly, and he really deserves the opportunity.
Well, he's had 2 excellent games, caught 6 against the Cardinals. Now he has caught 4 for 46 yards, including that 16-yard reception. Rafael Septien hammers home the extra point, and a few of the fans start for the exits. With 8 minutes and 19 seconds left in this game, the Cowboys leading 28-3. Redskins, and you'll be able to see it on most of these CBS stations. There's the book on the Cowboys scoring drive, and Danny White has compiled some impressive figures. He has had 6 outstanding games in a row. He has 19 out of 25 for 233 yards through that early interception, and he's been just about perfect. Septien kicking off. Dixon is deep with Hughes. David Hughes out to the 5, 10, 15, and hit at the 17-yard line. Pretty good hit there.
Yeah, Mr. Newhouse. I really respect those kind of guys that have been in the league that many, as many years as he has. Number 44, I'm talking about Newhouse.
We did get a marker.
Get the great hit like that.
We got a marker down on the play. There's Robert Newhouse.
Robert Newhouse.
Cowboys been around a long time.
There's another guy who may not come back next year.
That's right. Last time.
Offside in the kickoff, number 25. 5 yards, we will re-kick.
Last time the Cowboys played the Seahawks here in Seattle, he was the leading rusher.
Really?
In that game back in 1976, had about 120 on the ground.
That's
Newhouse,
right, I read that.
Yes, he is the oldest player on the Cowboy roster at the age of 33, and he is Dallas's number 4 all-time rusher.
And the thing is, he's been awarded 2 special teams game balls this year for outstanding performance. You've really got to give a guy credit for that, because a lot of veterans think it's an insult after they've been in the league as long as he has to cover punts and kickoffs, and that just shows what an outstanding person he must be.
So there's another candidate for a special teams guy for the Pro Bowl.
That's right.
Guy's played a regular all his life, and now he's doing a great job on special teams. Maybe we can follow him down the field this time and see what he does this time. I wouldn't be surprised if he made the hit again.
Yeah, he will. He's a guy that comes to play, and he earns every paycheck.
Raphael Septien, after the 5-yard walk-off for offside, will have to kick it from the 30-yard line. Dixon is deep.
Big Jeff coach standing next to him say, hey, Raphael, kick it out of the end zone. I'm tired.
Yes. It's a little bit out of his range, but that's a pretty good boot. Dixon at the 4. Up to the 15, running hard up the middle, and upended at the 22-yard line. Well, Newhouse didn't get there that time, but a whole host of Cowboys did, including Jim Jeffcoat, number 77. Next Sunday on CBS, doubleheader action.
Team saying, we want Dallas.
Well, you could bet it's going to be a very intense ball game.
Seahawks 1st and 10 at their 27-yard line. Craig is 12 out of 22 and been sacked 7 times, rolling out of the pocket. Fires it downfield, and let's see, out of bounds. Byron Walker, number 89, couldn't stay in bounds. They'll bring it back to the line of scrimmage for an NFL Reports. Here's Brent in New York.
Frank, San Francisco and the Rams are going to be tied. 3rd touchdown for Roger Craig. The schedule, as you pointed out, so very important now. San Francisco goes to Buffalo and then closes out with the Cowboys on a Monday night. The Rams host New England and then play New Orleans. These 2 teams will be tied. Back to Frank and Dick.
Great divisional races.
Those are great divisional races. There's a look at the Cowboy bench.
Mr. Peterson.
Kurt Peterson, next to him, Tom Rafferty.
That offensive line has got some real people in there. A couple of engineers and an MBA.
2nd and 10 for the Seahawks at their 27. Again, looked like the same play for Byron Walker. Rod Hill was over there defending. Walker, number 89, had a touchdown taken away earlier on a penalty. He's a free agent from the Citadel. Signed in 1982. And Craig wondering what he has to do here to get the ball into the end zone.
There's Danny. Mr. White, you know, it's amazing how some guys just have it all. Talented musician, great baseball player he was, great football player.
And look at the numbers here. He's had the best of it so far today.
By far.
Seattle is 1 out of 10 on 3rd down conversions. This is a 3rd and 10. Randy White got to the quarterback, despite the fact, I believe, he was almost tackled.
I think old Reggie McKenzie knew he was getting beat that time, so he said, heck, I better get this guy on the ground. So he hooks him with his arm, pulls him down, and the monster man, Randy White, kept going and got him anyway.
Holding 67, decline, 4th down.
Let's take a look at this. Watch the offensive left guard now, right to the left of the center. Now watch what he does. He's up for 2 points down. He jams him right there. See, there's a stunt being run. He's got him. Now watch him reach there. Pulled him down from the top, actually. It didn't look as bad as I thought it did.
And he got the sack
And
anyway.
he got the sack anyway.
4th down. Weston to do the punting, standing back on his 2. 7 minutes and 45 seconds remaining.
I think if you're going to hold, you might as well really grab the guy.
Ron Fellows at the 42 up to the 45 and upended at midfield, which is where the Cowboys are put in play. Got a question for you. If you had to guess who was voted this year as the most popular Dallas Cowboy by the Dallas fans, who would you think?
Well, I would, because I know it's, I know who it was. Yeah, it was Cooper.
Right.
And I read a little story about it, that his neighborhood area and all the friends got together and they stuffed the ballot box.
You know, every year Dorsett wins it, Danny White wins it, and you get a free trip to Hawaii.
Yeah.
And there is the most popular Cowboy this year as voted by the fans in Dallas, Jim Cooper, the right tackle.
Yeah, and he's also maybe the most underrated player. Really, he never gets much credit, but I'll tell you, he is a fine football player.
1st and 10 for the Cowboys. Dorsett, who's had a big afternoon, breaks a couple tackles, takes it across the 50, now to the 45 for 6 yards.
You know, here's what worries me. When you have a lead like this, you're out, 28-3, and you're giving the ball to Dorsett in the 4th quarter with 7 minutes to go. You're really afraid, gosh, if you get him hurt in that situation, you're just wasting that talent. And I see now Coach Landry's taking him out. See, he's no fool. Get him out of there and let somebody else run. He's still healthy.
If that's it for Tony, he's carried it 26 times for 117 yards. Great afternoon, 2nd and 5. Ron Springs, not much running room there. Takes it down to the 44-yard line. You know, something that Chuck Knox and Tom Landry have in common?
What's that?
They both do singing commercials. Knox
Really?
has a television commercial running here in Seattle in which he sings.
I can't
and
believe
Landry does a radio commercial with John Madden in which he sings a line to I'll Never Smile Again.
that. Really?
Not very well. As a singer, he's a great football coach.
I'll tell you, there probably isn't anything Coach Landry can't do, but I'd say one of them might be sing.
Third down. Dallas needing 4 for the first down at the Seattle 45. Simply trying to run the clock down here. Ron Springs couldn't hold it. So that'll set up a punting situation. Well, next Saturday afternoon, Dick and I will be in the Orange Bowl in Miami for the second time this season. We were down there for the Rams and the Redskins. We're going to see the Falcons take on the Miami Dolphins, who, of course, today clinched the AFC East title. And what a job Shula's done this year.
Oh, he's done a great job. And, everybody's, who else? The rest of the coaching staff's done a great job. Hartsbarger, of course, he's losing it. LSU, going to college coach.
Going to LSU. That's one that they can take your name off, right?
Yeah, I'm sure glad of that.
Tell them where you're going to be next year.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm going to be right here with you, I hope.
All right. Jim Miller doing the punting. Out of bounds along about the 15-yard line or so, depending on where they mark it. So the Seahawks will take over with exactly 6 minutes left to play in the game. Coming up tonight on CBS, the normal great Sunday night. Of course, the Redskins been flying high, too, so it'll be a great showdown on CBS next Sunday afternoon.
You have to give Dallas a lot of credit, but also you have to remember that Seattle's playing without a couple offensive linemen there. It really was obvious that it hurt him.
And Craig has been running for his life. Here comes Bethea. Completes the pass for about 5 yards. Eric Lane.
He's the captain of their special teams, and he's the #1 headhunter in their special teams. There's Cullen Bryant there. His dad played Cullen Bryant there, number 32. His dad was a Harlem Globetrotter. Played for the Harlem Globe. Did you see them play? I used to. I remember driving to San Francisco to watch him play. And and the funny thing, on the other side of the line of scrimmage, Pearson's father-in-law is Marcus Haynes,
who also played for the Harlem
Globetrotters. Yeah. Cullen Bryant, I coached him. At one time he averaged over 28 yards a kickoff return in the National Football League. That's a lot of yards per return.
Second down, 3. Seahawks at their 22-yard line, just trying to get a consolation touchdown here. Craig on the rollout, pumps it once, going to air it out. Intended way downfield and batted away. Intended receiver was number 89, Byron Walker. Well, Jim Zorn for many, many years was the Seahawks starting quarterback, and for a guy that lost his job, has been demoted, Chuck Knox will tell you he's a great team man, and he has helped Craig out quite a bit.
Yes, he's tried to go ahead and coach him during the ball game and tell him what to be alert for. His attitude has been very good. It really has been. He's a real quality young man and very much respected in the community, very active in the community in fundraising affairs and helping the underprivileged. He's really an outstanding person.
He wants to play, though. I know it was one of the lines when we talked to him yesterday in the locker room. He said, I'll be starting somewhere next year. I don't know what he meant by that. But
well, all quarterbacks want to play. All quarterbacks want to start, especially if they've been a starter already.
Well, Glenn Carano of the Cowboys has been waiting for his chance for years and doesn't see it coming, so he's going to sign with the new league, give it a shot in Pittsburgh.
You really can't blame him for it.
3rd and 3. Blitz by Dickerson. He got the pass away. Dornick out to the 30, 40.
Tucked him away.
Michael Downs finally made the stop on Dan Dornick.
He is a great third down player, Dan Dornick is. He has been all year for them.
Former starter.
Watch, it's a screen play to the right. See him cross over there now? Watch him lay it off. They help you when they rush it. Now their kick-out block right there. Now he's up inside and he's flying. There's Bailey, number 65. He can't catch it. Look at Dornick. He's carrying that ball out there like a loaf of bread, but he got it tucked away.
38-yard pickup. We got a flag down. Looked like the Cowboys offside. Craig completes the pass downfield to Byron Walker, number 89. And that'll be another first down if everything is in order. If the Cowboys were offside, I'm sure the Seahawks will be planted and take the yardage instead.
That Dornick has been successful 17 times on third down in having the opportunity 24 times. So only 7 times he was not successful when he touched the ball on third down.
76, decline. First down.
I'm impressed with Craig. Now, he's been around. This is his 4th year, but he really hasn't played much football.
And he throws the ball accurately, and I think he's somebody that Chuck and the rest of the staff and the Seattle people can go with and build around. He really throws an accurate ball, Frank.
Tom Landry was very impressed with it.
Very much so.
He looked at him in film all week, said, I like this kid, although he said very honestly, as Tom will do, I've never heard of him before. And Tom will tell you that, and he means it. You know, he just... Pass completed to Largent at the 10. He's down to the 5-yard line. Steve Largent to the 2. Finally dropped by Michael Downs. Great receiver for the Seattle Seahawks, who has gained over 7,000 yards through the air.
He's also the #1 scorer in the history of this franchise right now. He has 354 points to his credit. That's a lot of touchdowns.
He's a 3-time Pro Bowler. In fact, the Seahawks in their history have had only 2 players selected to the Pro Bowl. He's one, and then they had Kenny Easley on the defensive side last year.
He likes to get that catch to keep that consecutive streak going, because he's got the best streak going in the National Football League right now.
First and goal from the 2-yard line. Seahawks try to get their first touchdown of the day. Warner going for the corner, cuts in, he's over.
Did you see him cut like that?
He gives you that little dead leg move, doesn't he?
Oh, his feet. It's amazing what he can do with his feet. Running full speed. He didn't really get an opportunity today. The defensive front seven just didn't allow him to go ahead and get running. But watch this now. They're going to put Cullen Bryant in motion. Watch the fullback right straight in the middle of the screen. See him go. Now he's going to block this support man. See him get the block right there. Beautiful block. Now watch Huther. 55. Look at that move. Boom. Cuts back inside it. Huther came over there. He knew what he was supposed to do. He just couldn't get it done. And Huther is a fine one-on-one tackler as a linebacker. He really is. He got a hit, they say, in the Eagle game that really put a running back down.
Norm Johnson to tack on the extra point with 4 minutes and 9 seconds left to play in the game, but it's a case of too little, too late for the Seattle Seahawks. Cowboys look like their record will remain perfect.
Now, that doesn't mean when they they get together next Saturday that Dallas isn't better.
Well, we'll all get the answer next Sunday afternoon on CBS. Ron Fellows is deep, but the Cowboys are looking for the onside. And that's what Johnson is doing.
Nice kick.
Butch Johnson making the catch, and the Cowboys will take over at the Seattle 48-yard line. Other standings as we get down now to the last 2 weekends of the season. The Los Angeles Raiders are in the playoffs. Seattle still has a shot at a wild card, although had they won today and had they won the other 2 games, they would have been in as a wild card. Now they're going to have to fight it. And Denver on its way to a victory. So that'll put Denver in a strong position.
Right. It's tough to get in the playoffs if your defense isn't really, a better defense. That's all there is to it.
Pittsburgh, losers today. Cleveland on its way to losing. So looks like the Steelers will maintain a 1-game lead in the AFC Central. But you got to wonder about the Steelers here in recent weeks. They haven't looked good. Timmy Newsome, as we got new quarterback, Gary Hogeboom, has come into the game for the Cowboys. So Tom Landry is trying to make sure now that most of his starters are rested, I guess, next week. Make sure he doesn't get anybody hurt here with a needless injury down the stretch. And there's a look at Gary Hogeboom, who this year has been simply perfect in the time that he has played. Thrown 3 passes this year, completed all of them, been on just in a mop-up role.
Remember, we saw him in the preseason against Houston, the final preseason game, and he was very impressive. They have Pop Derek in there.
63, 10 yards, still first down.
Glenn Titan, sir. I recruited him to UCLA. Yeah, he played there for 2 years and then went on to BYU. Outstanding young man. Came from a nice family there in Bolsa Grande, California, Southern California.
Did you make it too tough on him or what?
No, we recruited him, and then I left and went to Philadelphia. He stayed there for 2 years, and then he left.
Couldn't stand it without you.
No, that had nothing to do with it.
First and 20. Cowboys at their 42. Hogeboom, still perfect on the year. Completes that pass to Tony Hill. To the 46-yard line for a pickup of 5. The AFC Eastern Division standings. Miami, of course, clinched the division crown today with their victory over Houston. I mean, the best Buffalo could do would be tie them, and Miami's got the edge in the tiebreaker.
Right.
So they've got the AFC East clinch, and we'll see the Dolphins at home in the Orange Bowl against the Atlanta Falcons, who can create some havoc, as we saw last week in that game against the Packers.
I know it. They, had no business winning a football game, but they could put points on the board, and they put them on there when they had to and win the football game. There's a couple guys, Cosby there from the University of Santa Clara, and Danny White. They're talking about having a hot dog on the way home.
Or talking about the Redskins next week. We're going to do this to them and going to do that to them. Ron Springs taking the inside handoff from Hogeboom. And And Gary Hogeboom kind of shakes his head, looks over at Landry and says, that didn't work. How about another one, Tom?
You think she really cares who wins the game between the Redskins and the Cowboys?
No, but I bet she cared about who won this one.
Yeah, I bet she did too.
2 minutes, 50 seconds and counting. Cowboys with a commanding lead of 28-10 at this point, and they have dominated from the outset. Reminder that 60 minutes coming up right after the conclusion of the football game, except for those of you on the West Coast who will see it at its regularly scheduled time. And the way this game is going, it should be over quickly. Blitz on this time. Hogeboom gets the pass away. Butch Johnson with the catch at the 35, takes it down to the 31. The way he's playing, Drew Pearson better get well in a big hurry.
This guy is really
reports.
good.
Here's Brent in New York.
Last play for the Baltimore Colts against the Jets, Frank. They've got a chance to win it. Pago pulls out. He's got Henry working the back of the end zone. The scrimmage line was at 23. He steps beyond it. Illegal forward pass. The Jets hold on to down the Baltimore Colts 10-6. Back to Frank and Dick.
Well, it's got to make it a little sick. Lose one that way, but that's the way it goes.
Just think how the Jets feel. You know, starting the year really thinking they're going to be the playoff team and just totally collapse. That's disappointing. I know for all the Jet fans.
2-minute warning going to both benches. We'll be back in 1 minute. At the outset, great motivator, but when you're outmanned in talent.
Well, to win, each guy, you know, in a game like this, let's let this play go on.
Here's Hogeboom, gets the pass away to Newsom. Great throw. Down to the 15-yard line, and that's a first down, and Hogeboom is 3 out of 3. And what a great throw. Threw it off the wrong foot under pressure, and it was right there.
He has that great touch. But Chuck is a great motivator, and I'll always stand behind that statement, and a super football coach. One of the leading winning percentage coaches in football right now, and in the history of the National Football League.
You always told me he's a man of few words.
Yeah, there's no way to misunderstand what he says to you. And I'm sure he's upset, but they turned the ball over early. They just didn't play well, and we've all coached games, including Coach Landry has, and I have, where our team didn't play as well as they're supposed to.
First and 10 from the 15-yard line of Seattle. Newsom at the 10, at the 5. Newsom is over. Touchdown. Considering we figured the Cowboys would be running out the clock, that was a pretty crisp drive.
That was really a well-executed play, and again, it was a little slip screen. Now, you're going to watch, he's going to make a little token fake up inside. Watch the quarterback now, Hogeboom, number 14. You're not used to seeing him in there. See the fake, throws the linebacker. Now he gets it out there in front of the lineman blocking. Now Peterson gets a nice block right there. Does a nice job. Newsom just breaks his way into the end zone there. Nice job, well-executed offensive play.
Hogeboom was 4 out of 4 for 60 yards in that drive.
Yeah.
And Septien is on to try the extra point.
That makes him 7 for 7 for the year. Pretty good batting average.
Cowboys been averaging 32 points a game this year, so they have eclipsed that average once again. And that one makes it 35. So Dallas leading the Seattle Seahawks 35-10. Touchdown pass from Gary Hogeboom to back up Timmy Newsom.
Now you can see, again, from a different angle. See the lineman coming out here? Look at that. Chris Schultz, number 66, eyeballing the defender. He gets a nice buck on Schultz. He's up inside there. Now you can see just good running. And this guy's no slouch. He's always been successful when he's played. He's a good runner. But, you know, today you're taking the Dallas's offense, which was ranked 2nd in the NFL, and they're competing against Seattle defense, which was the 24th.
Different players catch passes today. 8 different receivers. Hill, Newsom, Johnson, Cosby, Dorsett, Springs, Donnelly, Dupree. I guess the only guy who hasn't get in on the act is Pearson. He hasn't been in the game.
He'll probably be ready next week.
I imagine they're resting him up for the Redskins. But again, Butch Johnson did a great job. Johnson caught 5. He and Dorsett both caught 5 passes to lead the Cowboys. Hill with 4 receptions. Springs at 4. Broke the club record. What a great day. Like that's long run a lot shorter. David Hughes fields this one at the 12, 15, near sideline, 20, 25, across the 30, and takes it out near the 40-yard line. 1 minute, 4 seconds left to play. The executive producer of the NFL on CBS, Terry O'Neill. Our senior producer, Charles H. Milton III, old Red Eye. And our producer here in Seattle, Robert D. Stenner. Providing the entertainment for the weekend. Our director, Joe Assetti. Associate producer, Bill Brown. Bill Wilson, Lance Farrell, the rest of the people helped put our telecast together here this afternoon. Great pictures from the Seattle Kingdom as the Dallas Cowboys record goes to 12-2, which, by the way, is the most games that the Cowboys have ever won in a single year. They've never won more than 12. They've got 2 to go. Craig unloading. Michael Downs stepping in front of the intended receiver, Byron Walker. Downs is back to the 35 to the 40-yard line, and Dallas will take over at the 41 with 49 seconds to go.
Michael Downs is having some fun. Great free safety play. He is a true center fielder now. Shotgun again. He's back there nicely. He's flushed right now. Dutton came inside and flushed him. He winds up, lets her go. Now watch. Here, look at Michael Downs just playing center field right over there. He comes and dissects the ball. Now he's a running back. As a coach, when you see this happen, Frank, you're sitting there, get on the ground. We've won the ball game. I don't want you hurt. Get on the ground. He finally got on the ground, but
second interception of the day by the Cowboys off Craig, the other by Thurman. Craig 16 out of 30 for 253 yards. That'll be his final figure, and the Cowboys just going to sit on it here.
Flop on, they call it.
If the Seahawks want to call time, they can. Often wondered, though, why a team would call timeout in this situation where it's hopeless. Stay tuned. Brett Musburger will be with you right after the conclusion of the ball game.
One time I put a play in our offense that we line up just like this right before the half. Everyone looks like they're going to flop on. The quarterback comes back, puts a knee down, jumps up, and throws a pass to the wingback.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Of course, it's not effective here.
I remember a very nice gift you got from the Giants one day at a flop-on play.
The miracle of the Meadowlands.
Right?
Yeah. Coach Landry, a winner. Chuck going in. I know Chuck's upset.
Seahawks are 7-7 on the year. The Cowboys 12-2 and back home for the big showdown against the Washington Redskins next Sunday afternoon. Frank Lieber for Dick Vermeil saying so long from the Kingdom, where the final score is 35-10 Dallas. Stay tuned for Brent Musburger and the NFL wrap-up show right after this word.
Well, a reminder that 60 Minutes is coming up next, except on the West Coast, where we'll be seen at its regularly scheduled time. How about a quick scoring wrap-up now to get you up to date with everything that has gone on? The Dallas Cowboys, of course, win easily 35-10, 12-2 now, and bring on the Washington Redskins. The Jets hold off the Baltimore Colts 10-6. The Jets with an outside chance still to get into the playoffs now. Denver beats Cleveland 27-6. This was the making of John Elway. He had his best game so far for the Broncos. San Francisco gets into a tie with L.A. for first in the NFC West, 35-21. And the Washington Redskins, they push their record to 12-2, just like the Cowboys, 37-21. Buffalo beats back Kansas City, so the Bills still with a chance to get into the playoffs. Green Bay eliminates Chicago this afternoon. 31-28 was the final. The Packers still are harboring playoff hopes, of course. Miami wins the AFC East 24-17 over the Houston Oilers. New England shuts out New Orleans by 7 points in a snowstorm, but the Saints get help from Philadelphia. Cincinnati beats back Pittsburgh 23-10, and so the Steelers do not wrap up the AFC Central, but they are still a game ahead of the Cleveland Browns. Philadelphia upsets the Rams and drops the Rams into a tie with the 49ers for first in the NFC West. St. Louis beats the Giants. 10-6 was the final in that game. And I want to remind everybody that next Saturday here on CBS at 12 noon, the Division I AA semifinals. Many of you will see this game, Nevada-Reno, and the other one is Furman, West Carolina. We also have a Division II title game between Central State of Ohio against North Dakota State. Airtime is 12 noon. And then after that, it'll be the Atlanta Falcons against the Miami Dolphins, 3:30 Eastern Time on CBS. Coming up next now is 60 Minutes. I'm Brent Musburger. We certainly hope you've enjoyed the NFL Today on CBS.
Seattle's comfy kingdom, Seahawk fans didn't exactly roll out the red carpet for the visiting Cowboys. But when it comes to rushing, that's something the Cowboys can do with the best of them. Rushing the passer, that is. Quarterback Dave Craig was sacked 8 times by Doomsday, and Tony Dorsett rushed for a pair of first-half touchdowns en route to his 3rd straight 100-yard performance. Danny White threw for 2 scores in the second half as Dallas routed Seattle 35-10. For Dallas, the Seahawk game was merely a tune-up for the big one, a date with destiny and the Redskins in Irving on Sunday, as Gary Hogaboom hooked up with Timmy Newsome for Dallas's final score. The Dallas-Washington showdown promises to be a championship battle, much like the Sugar Ray Leonard-Thomas Hearns bout.